Greetings, everybody, and hopefully we're doing more than just staying alive.
I love that
intro. We're here with Manifesting Marin, who's a ray of sunshine from Florida, and Lady D. Where are you right now currently? Where, not which state, not where your apartment number is, but
I'm in Massachusetts.
You're in Massachusetts. Okay.
South of Boston.
Gotcha. So,
awesome.
So you'll be close to the fireworks tomorrow, just like we will. Yeah.
Oh my.
I think tomorrow's the day, ladies. It's gonna be nuts.
Yeah. I'm hoping there's a lot of stuff going down. Yes. I'm hoping it's Trump's birthday. So actually I'm I'm far away from Boston, thank God. So I don't have to deal with the liberal bull state BS.
Right.
That's good. We're pretty solid here in Florida, so I'm not worried.
Yeah, I know. I've been thinking about Florida. I've been thinking about Costa Rica too, but
yeah, I want to move there next.
Yeah. Have you been?
I have not, but it's been on my bucket list for a long time.
Yeah, we'll talk after the show. I got to tell you some things. But
yeah.
It's amazing.
So much going on today.
So yeah, this weekend, I mean, and now we've got Israel doing their Israel things. I love how they preemptively struck the enemy, like preemptively, because that makes it sound like they did it in a defensive posture.
Right.
It's all the paint's peeling, it's all going down, it would appear. So
yep.
Which just puts us closer to resolution, which I think we're all pretty excited about.
Lights, camera, action.
Indeed. Now, speaking of action, Lady D, you were on a show last night for, I don't know, 4 hours with somebody. Do you care to talk a little bit about that and catch us up to speed?
Yes, I was on with Zara Marley, who is Bob Marley's biological daughter. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, she is a phenomenal woman. She is a light warrior. And I will tell you that the Marley family has not been kind to her at all. They don't want to, the Marley family is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. They tried to say that she wasn't Bob Marley's daughter because, listen, we all know that Bob Marley has tons of children everywhere. She has brothers and sisters she probably has never met. But unfortunately, the Marley family is not very kind. All right. They're into some satanic stuff, and listen, they're part of the music industry, and they have really mistreated her. They won't let her use any of her father's images. They won't let her collect any of the money. They've tried to disown her, but she has a birth certificate and she has proof. She's had DNA, and she has more of Bob's DNA than any other of his children. She's been SRA'd. Well, I have to be careful because we're streaming on my channel too. She's been SRA'd. She's been sold, she's part of that satanic, you know what I mean? She's been through it all. So, she is a light warrior, and she's living in poverty in Jerusalem because of the BS of the Marley family. Bob Marley loved her very much. Bob Marley was of the light. She's confirmed that the CIA killed him. They gave him he died of cancer, but what happened is that he was walking down the street and there was a cane, and they put this cane, which had a little, like a needle, into his toe, and he got the cancer through that, and that's how he died. They killed him because he didn't want to toe the line like the real Bono. He wouldn't toe the line, and they couldn't control him. And so they killed him.
And that's what they do to all of them that don't want to go along with the evil stuff that they do, I think. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Lady D, on that subject, you were giving us a little insight into more recent news from another light worker regarding Bono and something you've learned recently. Can you share that with the audience as well?
Absolutely. I haven't shared this on my own channel. I always do the Bono content on your channel.
Well, that sounds well. We certainly appreciate it.
Oh, yes, but I have to because you love Bono and you too, the real Bono. We're not talking about the fake, decrepit clone. Sorry, I'm getting a little feedback. Let me turn down my volume.
Yeah, yeah, not Clono. Well, the other thing is
Not
what I like.
Clono.
Yeah, Clono. I like to take the clips from the shows that we do with you and then put them on Instagram and get all kinds of feedback from people, and you blow a lot of
Oh, yeah.
people's minds on there. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, you
Yeah.
got, you know, some of these 3-hour shows, you got to take some of the gold and put that on other platforms. So please,
And
what's
Lady,
the what's
Lady
the
D's
update?
got a big following on Instagram too.
Yeah, I
Oh,
haven't been
bet.
on Instagram in 3 months though because it's a cesspool.
You almost
Right.
got
Yeah.
like 20,000 followers on there.
I haven't been on, I have to go back on Instagram. I wasn't on Instagram because I was getting so many messages and I was spending too much time on screens, but I'll go back. But besides the point, okay. So the nitty gritty with the real Bono, okay, the real Paul David Houston, not Clono, which I love that you guys termed. That's the fake demonic clone. Okay, so I found out through Beverly Rhodes, who is a remote viewer psychic. Okay, I went to England and I did a remote viewing session and I did a lot of work with Beverly. And what I found out is that I was pretty much on target with what happened with the real Bono, but they kept one big thing from me. And my guides kept this from me because if I knew the truth, I would go insane. The bottom line is that Bono, the real Bono, Paul David Houston, was not put into witness protection. What happened was that because he wasn't going to toe the cabal line and he didn't want to kill somebody, they drugged him, they kidnapped him, they drugged him, and they put him in a hyperbolic chamber, and he was been in a tube for 40 years as they sucked his essence out to do the clone, to give the essence to the clone. Okay.
Good
Yes. Okay. The good news, okay, it's awful, awful. Okay. The reason, so I said, Beverly, why did I get everything besides this? And they said, because if you knew this, you would go insane. Because she confirmed that not only am I his twin flame, I'm a split apart, which means that when God created an oversoul, some people are just one oversoul, but with me, when God created this oversoul, he created a feminine aspect and a masculine aspect, and I'm the feminine aspect, and the real Bono is the masculine aspect.
Wow.
So
Which what
they
twin
could
flames are essentially,
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
well, no, I heard, I'm not sure about, I heard that some twin flames aren't, but I don't know. I don't know about other twin flames. I can just speak about who I am. So the reason why this was kept to me is because they knew this would devastate me. So when I went to England and Beverly told me this, when I came home, I'm like, this is unacceptable. Okay. In the interim, I learned that I have a connection with the Andromedans. Okay. This is like a sci-fi movie. Okay. All right.
Stranger than fiction.
Right. So I got my star DNA done with Azria, who is connected. And I learned that I've had like flashbacks and stuff. So I learned that I have a connection with the Andromedans. Okay. So when I heard that he was in suspension somewhere, and I heard that I had connection to the Andromedans, I came back from England and I was like, I pray to God, I'm like, this is unacceptable. So I did a remote viewing session with the Andromedans, and I'm like, you need to go get him. You need to go and save him because this is unacceptable. Okay. Now, there's more to my connection with the Andromedans where we might get in another. This is probably another show because that will blow your mind too. So we'll do the part 2 with that. Okay. I know I'm living a sci-fi movie for someone who has a very normal average life. Okay, so when I did a remote viewing session, I said, look I did something for you Andromedans. Now you need to do something to me. Go and get my man. So what did they do? They went and got him. The Andromedans went and they found him. And now they call him David, okay? The reason why they call him David, his name is Paul David Houston. But when they put him in the chamber and he was in suspension, he was basically in a coma, and they used his essence, okay? So they used the demon, the reptilian that is the consciousness that's in the clone that's running around. They used Paul, okay, his first name. So the Andromedans go by his middle name. So they say, you need to stop calling him Paul, call him David. I said, okay, so I have to refer him to as David. So I'm like, oh my God, first it's Bono, then it's Paul, now it's David. It's like, how many frigging names is this guy going to have? So I refer to him as David now, okay, because of that. So they went and they rescued David. And not only did they go and get him, they got a bunch of other celebrities and VIPs that were also in the same state. They rescued David. He's healing, okay? For the first 2 weeks, they didn't wake him up, okay? Because he was in really tough shape. Now, think about it. Think about when you're in, let's say that you're in the hospital, right? And you're in the bed and your muscles are atrophied, right? Can you imagine being atrophied, being in a suspended animation in a tube for 40 years, how your muscles and body will be?
Yeah, like Han Solo, cryogenic,
Right,
almost cryogenically,
exactly.
Well,
right?
Nick, I was gonna say, you know how many movies that they actually like show disclosure about what you're talking about in? Like so many movies, and it's like, where do they get that from? You know,
Right,
people
right,
don't think that it's true, but it's like it's in so many movies.
right.
Yeah.
So they got him, and when he was in this chamber, they harvested his organs. So because they were probably going to use it for nefarious things. So they took him, they took his organs. So they kind of they've been healing him. And so he is off planet somewhere. He is with the Andromedans. He's with pretty much he's with the Galactic Federation of Worlds, which is the faction of the extraterrestrials that are working with the secret space program. Those are the ones that work with the White Hat Alliance. He's above in a big spaceship somewhere above our atmosphere, healing right now. And I would say that the clone's days are numbered because they don't have his essence anymore. So the clone is getting weaker and weaker and weaker by the minute. If you did notice that they're touting the clone around now because now there's a movie. I can say it on my, there's a fucking movie on his life, okay? And so it's like they're gonna parade him around to make as much money from him as possible until that clone probably keels over and dies, which hopefully is soon. So he will come back, but when he does come back, he'll probably be with the military, and he'll be in witness protection before he goes out into the public. Now, what Beverly told me is that because I'm his twin flame, I held his light. They was like, because of the fact that they were sucking out his essence, the powers that be gave me a lot of his essence, knowing that at one time I had to hold it. And Beverly said that he trusted the essence with me because he knew I was the other half. So when the time is right, I'm going to have to meet up with him, give him back his essence, then he can come back into the public. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. It's a big surprise, but that is the 411 on the real Bono.
So
Wow.
I gotta ask, is the song that comes to mind that might have a different meaning to you now is Two Hearts Beat as One.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the organ thing, did they harvested his organs 40 years ago and then or what? Can you go into that part as much as you know? When did they do that?
Well, I did get it right. They took him after the Grammys in 1988, but I thought he went into witness protection. But that's what my guides told me, because if I knew for the last 3 years that he's been in suspended animation, I would go insane, right? I would be like, I couldn't deal with it. So Beverly told me I found out at the right time because they knew I was going to ask for them to get him. So everything happened in the right time. I believe they harvested his organs, yeah, probably 40 years ago. And yeah, they probably took the organs out 40 years ago. I'm not exactly sure, but that would be my guess, Joe.
It's just amazing now how someone can then continue to exist in any form with missing organs. And so, I mean, this may be where the medbed technology comes in, but
Well, it's just the DNA. I mean, it's a blueprint of your body. You could regrow all that stuff. They're actually doing it now. They grow small versions of your organs to test medications to see what the optimal outcomes could be. At least that's what they say. It might be cover for all kinds of nefarious shit. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I mean, the technology is definitely there and widely discussed in the medical field.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Yeah.
my mom says, well, what's today's show going to be about?
Yeah, whatever. We have no idea.
I have no idea. This
No.
I hear the movie was like pretty panned. It really backfired on Clono.
Did it? Did it?
Yeah. I hear that didn't go over well, and he was doing a lot of backpedaling and so on.
Well, that was the Joe Rogan interview for sure. I'm not sure about the movie itself, because the movie itself is, you know, I think it's more performative. I don't know. I kind of want to watch it, but I'm just watching an imposter anyway. So
yeah.
I know. Well, it's not the real story of his life. They made a whole narrative, and it's not his life.
Right.
He's a clone.
Anything on mainstream isn't going to be real about anything anyway. So it's like,
Right.
you can
well,
watch
I
it.
want my
take
money back for the
good.
16 shows I saw that weren't actually you too. Dag now.
Joe
I
found
know.
a clip where he was talking about his daughter, who really became the man of the house.
I shared it with
No.
Right.
Joe sent that to me.
Yeah.
Joe sent that to me. And then, you know, of
Yeah.
course, people were like, oh, no, they didn't say it. It's like people
I know they're
don't
looking
want
for,
to. People are so clueless. They don't
Yeah.
want to believe what's right in front of them.
well,
Yeah,
the denial
he is,
really
because his
kicks in.
daughter is inverted.
A lot of these things, people, I
Yes.
mean, people come up with pretty flimsy explanations out of it just so they don't have to confront these things. You know, it's like flicking the domino. It's like all of a sudden your entire life is in review over this one truth that shines through, and that's happened to so many of us. But and then there's another and another and another and whatnot.
I
But,
always say one rabbit hole leads to them all. I went down the rabbit hole in 2012, and I don't think I've surfaced yet.
I know I'm in the same boat with you.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have it any other way.
No.
No.
Ignorance is not bliss. I don't
Yeah.
think so anyway. I don't
Well,
agree with that.
I've never been wired for this system anyway, and I don't think you were.
No.
For sure. I don't think any of us really were. So that's
Yeah,
all we
he
needed.
was, he was annihilated on Joe Rogan. I loved it.
I gotta see that. I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I'm just looking.
I didn't even know he was on it. I've been so out of the loop. I didn't even know until the last time we talked, Lady D. I didn't even know that he was on Rogan.
Yeah, I didn't know either until Joe sent me this. He sent me a message. He texted me and he's like, "Look at this ass," and I watched it, and I didn't watch the full 2 hours. I can't watch the clone. The clone is
No, I
triggering
didn't
for me.
either. No.
I could never, because it's bullshit. And look at the clone is so ugly, like ugly. He looks nothing like the real one. So I mean,
He's
his hair
aged
looks
like
it's falling
20
out.
years in the last 5 years. It just
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you don't get your chrome on a regular basis.
Well, and they don't have any soul, so they just don't look, you know, like you can see it in their eyes. They just look dead.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
And now that he doesn't have the essence of the real Paul David Houston, the Bono, he's going to go. Like, his days are numbered. I can't wait. No, die, Clono, die.
Well, Marin, I
Wow.
think the last time you were on the show was right in the aftermath of the hurricane, and you had used your refrigerator as a canoe for your boyfriend, and your cat.
Yeah.
While the water level rose up towards the ceiling in your apartment. What's going on now? Maybe just give us a quick update as to where you're at. What's going on?
So we're inland for the time being, but we're actually our old place is being rebuilt as we speak, and we're moving back in October, which is the end of hurricane season. I know people are probably like, "What? You're crazy!" But you know what happened was like literally nothing like that has ever happened in that area ever.
Yeah.
And I think most of our audience, you know, can agree that it was Mother Nature, but they ramped it up. So, you know, do with that what you will. But you know, so yeah, we will be moving back. And I miss the beach. I do. I'm not gonna, you know, run away forever. But yeah, I mean, what's that?
your palm tree, did it happen to survive? The one in the yard that you're
It
always
did. Yeah, it did. The
Good.
one I always sat next to. Yes.
Okay.
I called her Tina. I don't know why.
Yeah, you and your cat both seem to really like that tree.
Yes, and my cat, I have to take him outside here where we are. There's so many animals. And so I take him out on a leash here because he'll either get killed by something or kill all the baby animals. So I have to take him out like 4 times a day. He meows and meows. So I can't wait to be able to just let him outside again. Because on the beach it was fine. I could let him out, but nobody cares about my cat. So I'm just a crazy cat lady, yes. But
I don't even like cats, but I care about your cat. So there you go.
oh, cats are very spiritual. They are.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. So, all right. So that's the update. You're moving back soon. And what's been going on in your world outside of your relocation?
You know, same old same. I've just been like I always tell Lady D, because she's always like, you gotta get back on YouTube, and I'm just very much in hermit mode, and that's kind of been my thing the past like 5, 6, 7 years. Like I just go in phases, and yeah, I've been in nature a lot. I've been doing a lot of inner work, and yeah, just kind of keeping to myself, and you know. I limit my time on social media because it is just so draining, and it, like me and Lady D talked about in the last time we were on a show together, like I cannot leave emotion out of this movie playing out for the normies. So I just have to not pay attention, and the second I go online, whether it's Instagram or YouTube, whatever, I just get sucked in, and I'm just like, oh my god, like how are people still falling for this? So I really limit my time. So that's why I haven't been uploading either. It's just, I get sucked in and I cannot leave emotion out of it. I just cannot. So yeah, I've just been keeping to myself.
Yeah, I've been wanting to shut a lot of it out. You know, we kind of run a show here, so it's sort of my job to pay attention. And it's been more challenging than it used to be. But the spiritual side of what's happening right now is fascinating. It's just amazing. And it just keeps getting more intense every day. And you know, like the most unbelievable things are just getting confirmed and made believable on such a regular basis. It's pretty shocking.
Oh, I know. It's crazy the disclosure that's coming out on a daily basis. It's like us that already kind of know this stuff, it's almost like we're desensitized to it. Like I think Trump came out saying Joe Biden was a clone, and we're all just like, well, yeah, duh. Like,
finally,
normal. Right.
Yeah.
And I know like a lot of the normies, sorry, I'm gonna say that word. It's not derogatory. I just don't know what else to say. They're like, you know, he's trolling you, he's just making fun of the conspiracy theorists. And I'm like, okay, sure he is, you know.
Yeah.
But
What are your thoughts on this?
so I saw that, but is that a repost of his old? Is that old, or is it new?
I'm not sure if he's necessarily posted that before, or if it's in the Q drops that he's going to. But you know,
he said it in that one video, like this is the calm before the storm, when he's in that press room. Right. I know we've all seen that. So yeah. I didn't know. I've seen this, but I wasn't sure if he posted this like recently, or if it was years ago, or what.
Yeah, well, I think that what this is saying is on June 8th, the Il Donato Trumpo account, which is, I'm pretty sure, operated by the same people that operate the real Donald Trump account, are they're getting us, I think, primed up for, because it does feel like the storm is here. We got Israel and
and Israel's for last, and
but also in my mind though, I'm like, I thought the storm has been upon us for the past 5 years.
Yeah,
so sure felt like it.
And figuratively, I've been in a storm, and the storm has been around. You know what I mean? Like, so
life's been a storm. Yeah,
I'm just like, that's why I kind of have to disconnect sometimes, because it takes the public a long time to kind of catch on to things. So if I pay attention to that, I just start resenting humanity, and then I start feeling really mean.
Right.
Well, what do you
Uh,
think of this? The solar weather is unprecedented right now. I mean, it's absolutely unprecedented. Yeah, and then we have this crazy planetary alignment that coincides with these major solar disruptions. We've all been waiting on something, the solar flash, whatever. It sure seems like everything is really ripe for that. I know I've been seeing things in the sky that I'm reluctant to discuss, kind of a thing. And a lot of other people are as well. It just feels like this may finally be it. I know all of us are just sort of, we've had the emotional rug pull so many times that it's like, well, I'll believe it when I see it kind of thing. But I mean,
think it's it.
myself apart from that, because I don't mind getting excited about things.
Yeah, I've already kind of talked myself into the fact that this may take generations. So,
Oh God, no!
you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I
Like,
don't,
No,
I
shut your
don't
mouth.
think it's gonna
and
take
I don't
generations.
mean that, and I know nobody
No.
wants to hear that, but it's like I have to tell myself that, otherwise I drive myself insane. Because
Yeah, I hear you.
and I think that's when shit will happen, when we all let go of the resistance and we stop like waiting, you know what I mean? Like things kind of finally happen when you stop expecting it to. So I'm just trying to like, that's why I've just been disconnecting and just I'm in nature and I'm like, whatever's gonna happen is in God's timing, and what's gonna be is gonna be. And I absolutely hope that I'm wrong, but I just know that we're in, like, my social media is an echo chamber of like minds, and I have to remember that the everyday person, they don't even believe that they have a soul, and let alone are they working on it. And to me, this is a spiritual ascension, and until people start really going within and doing that kind of work, the cliches are true, like we are the change. Like people have to really change themselves within for the outer world to look different, because our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. And a lot of us have been doing the work, but a lot of people haven't. So I don't know what to expect anymore. I'm not sure what it's going to look like, but that's also where the two timelines could definitely play into everything. Some people could experience nothing happening and other people could experience like a whole different reality. So you just
Yeah,
never
well,
know.
Lori, I want to respond to that. Expectation is premeditated disappointment, I think. But
Yeah.
what I've been noticing is just the more deeply personal stuff that affects you in your own world that becomes increasingly profound. I mean, that's kind of my meter a little
Yeah.
bit. And I think the way things scale or stack, it makes sense that when you really start to notice those things in your own core, that's when you can trust it, because the externalities are just a little bit, I don't want to say outside of your field, but maybe that's the best way to put it.
Right. And I agree, like, and don't get me wrong, like I love my life. Like my life is a paradise that I've made it, and I've been working really hard to create the life that I've created over the past 15 years. But I know not everybody can say the same. And that's where the timelines, I think, come into play. And there's a lot that goes into it. So
Yeah. Well,
there's ups
I'm
and
right
downs
there
and
with
everything.
I'm right there with you, Maren. I'm trying to not get too caught up. I mean, it does feel like things are more of a storm than they've ever been, but still, if they want to drag this out for as long as they want to, they certainly can.
See, I don't want to put any filters out there, to protect me from emotional rug pulls or whatnot. I'm I'll continue to get all revved up about shit because why not? I mean, I'm an expert at getting over disappointment at this point in my life.
Well,
I'm
we're
so good.
seeing
I mean, I'm so good at it.
we're seeing change. I don't know if the storm is upon us, but we're seeing change. Every day something's happening and it's coming to a fever pitch. So it's obviously we have to do our spiritual work, and we have to, this is a spiritual war, but it's also a physical war too. So um we're coming to a fever pitch now. I mean, like we said, Donald Trump posted that Joe Biden was a clone. All right, we're seeing that, come on.
Good
That's
point.
That's
huge.
huge.
That's
Yeah.
huge. All right. Everyone, it's common knowledge that Big Mike's Big Mike, right? And now all of a sudden, the demon rats, the Democrats, are coming out and saying that Joe Biden was brain dead, as if we didn't know it for 4 years, you know? And then they're coming out trying to gaslight us, saying, oh, we didn't know. Oh, really, Jake Tapper? You mean to tell us that all of a sudden you're selling a friggin' book now, but you didn't know for 4 years you lied? So it's like the Democrats are showing themselves. And now it's happening in the US with all these riots. It's coming to a fever pitch. It's like
Yeah.
we knew it was going to get really, really worse before it gets better. So I just think that we're starting to see the physical aspects of the fever pitch of the spiritual war, because spiritually, I can tell you that the demons are done. They know their days are numbered. There's not too many of them. So we have already basically won the spiritual war. It's just now the physical realm has to kind of catch up to it. That's my take on it anyway.
If I could play Olivia Newton-John's song right now, I would.
Which
one?
one?
Let's get physical.
Well, being grounded in your body is kind of the new theme, and that's what I've been getting in touch with.
Yes, I know. I'm just
Yes.
like every day
Run
I'm laying
easily
out,
out.
but I'm just like,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just so nice to just stay centered and get grounded,
Mhm.
and
Well,
to have
and
a
me-
good reason for it. But
me
I wanted
and
to
Lady-
say, yeah, go ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, me and Lady D were talking about this on her channel last weekend. You know, I think that they're really poking the bear on society's emotions, like on purpose, because you kind of have to. Some people are so just deep in this slumber and just not there that they're like the whole fight with Elon and Trump and everything. They're just like, they're trying to shake people, like to make them have a reaction to something, because some people need that emotional reaction. And so that's another reason why I've kind of checked out, because that movie is not for us that already understand like what's going on. Not saying I'm like better than anyone, but I can't pay attention because they're trying so hard to get an emotional reaction out of certain people, but I don't think that it's for us. So that's why I've just been like, okay, while everyone else catches up, I'm just going to have my, ass in the grass.
Right. Well, I think
Until
that's
then.
the whole Elon. I was wondering when Elon turned, how quickly he would make up. And I'm like, well, there it is within a week.
We know it was.
Oh
gonna
yeah,
happen.
it was so fake. It was so fake.
No,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
it got all the Dems to
Turn in their
To
heads.
demand the
Quiet
list.
down.
Yeah.
No, it got him
Yeah.
to beg for the release of the Epstein files.
Yeah.
That was the
Yep.
best
Strap
part.
set.
I mean,
Yeah.
task
Right.
accomplished.
Right. And we all know that Donald Trump was not on the Epstein list or the files, because if he was, the Democrats would have used it a long time ago to take
Oh,
him
yeah.
down. So,
That would have been like front page news for the past 5
Right.
years.
right.
He's
So we know
he's
that was a
definitely in the
calm.
file. No, he's absolutely in the file, but he's the guy that kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago permanently.
Yep.
Assisted the FBI and other law enforcement in the investigation.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. People need to understand how private jets work and billionaire class and whatnot. So you send the plane. You send the plane to go get your guests and whatnot. And sometimes your plane isn't available. You got to go somewhere. Somebody else has a plane on the ramp. You hop on their plane. That's just kind of a courtesy that they all do. It's part of the culture. So,
Yeah.
and a lot of people, on that list really truly were just getting somewhere. It was
And another thing is, people don't understand how long Trump's been infiltrating that specific group of people. Like, he's been, I personally believe he was born for this, and he's known about these things for a very long time, long before he was president the first time, long before his first reality show. He's known these things, and you don't infiltrate from the sidelines. You infiltrate by getting inside of the group that you're taking down, and you don't go in and tell them, oh, hey, in 20 years, I'm going to arrest all of you. You know what I mean? So it's like, people pull up all these pictures of him with Diddy and stuff, and I'm just like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, it really doesn't.
Yeah, if you're going to take down the DNC, maybe be a Democrat for 20 years, in the public eye.
And exactly. And maybe have your daughter marry somebody on the inside as well.
Exactly. Exactly. Kushner. Yeah. It's like what do the guys deep cover agents do in the DEA? You know, they become part of the
Mhm.
cartel.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
who knows? You know, I mean, maybe we'll get to know the details of the truth on this stuff. Maybe we won't. I mean, I think most of us have kind of connected with it in one way or another, but it'd still be nice to get confirmation.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll ever release some of this stuff to the public. I don't think that they will, but
It might
I
be
don't know.
too damaging. I think they'll allude to it as
Yeah.
far as they possibly can take
Like
it without.
like one of the posts says, or one of the drops says it's like the truth will, or like the choice to be known is yours, or something like that. It says
Right.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, that's the thing. We would love to continue to delve deeper into whether it's interviewing folks that are in the military, that were in the deep underground military bases. Like there's an open invitation for people when they're ready to
Mhm.
talk about some of the subject matter. So I guess we're trying to do our part.
Yeah, when it's permissible, I'll tell you what, that's the follow-up interviews are going to be pretty gratifying, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Lady D, what have you at some point, maybe you don't have to do it now, but it would be great to do a reading or two on what the heck's going on if you'd like to.
Yeah. All right. Whenever you want me to. Do you want me
Yeah,
to do
well,
it now?
is there anything else that either one of you either want to, is there any either interviews or clips or drops or anything you've seen lately that you want to either discuss or share or talk about or what have you? And I can
I'm
certainly
like
bring up some.
I have been like Marin. I kind of been just doing my own thing and not really being on social media that much. I know a little bit. Um, but I will say the fact that, they said Israel is last. And it was funny because I was on the live with Zara Marley. She lives in Jerusalem and they were getting that siren. And I'm like, are you going to be okay? She's like, oh, well, we don't worry about it. We have the Iron Dome. And meanwhile, you hear, woo, the siren in the background. I'm like, oh my God. She's like, this happens all the time. It's like, can you imagine living like that?
So what, for those that aren't sure, and I'm not 100% sure, what defines the meaning of the Iron Dome? Or did she talk about that? Did she go to any more detail than that?
So the Iron Dome is an anti-missile. So whenever there's a missile coming into Israel, they have counter missiles that shoot it down. So it's like nothing can really hit them. So
Okay.
that's what the Iron Dome is. And that's what Trump is trying to get. He wants a golden dome for the US.
Of
I
course.
have a theory on that to add. I think Trump talks in comms and codes, and a lot of things that Trump says have multiple meanings. And I think that he's talking about a firmament a lot of the time. When he says Iron Dome, I think he's talking about a firmament. Like Truman Show, all these things that kind of allude that we're in a dome. I think
Right.
he's also talking about that. I really do.
See,
It's just what my spidey senses tell me.
I don't think it's a missile defense system at all. I think it's a technological system that parlays over into the QFS. This new system. The whole idea: how do you create peace on Earth? Well, you just let everyone know you have access to all this great technology and prosperity for everyone. But the minute you start to provoke war, you're pushed out of the dome, kind of a thing. Like you can't, it's sort of the end for you. So no one's ever going to do that. They're going to work things out amicably. And I think that's what he's talking about with the Golden Dome. It's just my idea.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, I mean,
And I know
it's not my only idea.
Everybody's freaking out about, Trump's gonna have more surveillance and all this stuff. And
Palantir. That is
what? Something I really resonate with. I know you guys are familiar with Rambo and Friends over on Rumble.
Oh yeah.
And one of the things that they opened my eyes to that was like an aha moment was I think it was JF Anon and Smart Paul were talking about how I love them.
His hair is just fabulous, lady.
They're so they blow my mind. I actually haven't watched Rumble since like February, but I was watching them like every time they were on for many months, and one thing that really stuck in my mind that they were talking about was like the surveillance and the AI and stuff like that people freak out about. And what they, they made a lot of sense. It's like, how do you get the evil out of the world? If they're surveillance, if they're recording everybody, I mean, they're already doing that anyways, right? So like people freak out. Like if they are already doing it anyways, that is how they're going to rid the evil in this world. Like they have to catch them somehow. It's like, how else are they going to do that? You know what I mean?
Consequences for this shitty
exactly.
Well,
So
the whole system is built on free will, and we can't impede others' free will, and spying on them kind of does that. I don't think it's necessarily about surveillance. I just think that a lot of, kind of like the Big Beautiful Bill and some of the things that are pretty objectionable offhand, I think really speak to a future that hasn't yet happened. A lot of things that are going to be present, like, upon awakening, we get real telepathic. I don't know if you've experienced telepathy yet. You probably have. I've got a, yeah, exactly. We've all had a glimpse of that. I mean, even Joe and I have had a glimpse of that. I just had a recent one that kind of blew my mind, but I think the idea of privacy, it's going to change in a compound kind of way. I think everything about our future, the objections to the spending and the debt and so on with the Big Beautiful Bill speak to our current fiat bullshit system. Well, if that's gone and we're talking about true assets and so on, it might look entirely different.
Well, and another thing that's cool,
the details, but yeah,
Hollywood programs us for everything, right? But who tells us that AI is evil? Hollywood. It's in all the Hollywood movies. Don't trust AI. They have, and I'm not saying like I want AI to take over human nature. No, I'm not at all for that. But do we want AI in the hands of people that we can trust or people that we can't trust? Because it's coming no matter what.
Right.
It's just exactly like Atlantis. The technology is going to be there no matter what. It's whose hands that it's in. And so when people fear it, it's like that fear is pushed out through Hollywood. Well, why? Because Hollywood knows that if it's in the people's hands that we trust, that the evil people no longer have control because it will be shown,
Yeah, it's literally up to us. We had a great talk with Carol Friesen at the Heaven and Earth Sanctuary where we stayed in Costa Rica. We're seeing people on Instagram and TikTok literally programming and reprogramming the AI. And I think it's just really interesting that some of the questions that people are asking AI now are, when people are watching these channels of those who are really focused on the good components of AI, they're starting to learn a lot more than they ever had. So it's almost like this AI has been released at a time when humanity's awakening and conscious enough to actually look outside the narrative that we've been taught.
What the AI thing is, I mean, we're intersecting this. There's a whole group of people that believe AI is God. Like once we hit AGI, there's this whole, what they're perceiving as a spiritual component. And we know that AI is an ancient thing. I mean, if you get into Sophia and all of there's a lot of lore about this, but even more practically, like DARPA deals with technology that is far in advance of what we know to be possible or capable. And it used to be the rule was 15 years, but I think that accelerated probably by magnitudes of order when they got into this stuff. And if we've got people on the internet making really realistic deep fakes, which are funny as hell, but scary because what can you believe anymore? It's changing our whole paradigm, in sort of a humorous kind of a way to begin with. But what is DARPA really working with? And when we've been talking about this for a lot of years now. You're watching a movie, they can make anything photoreal and absolutely believable. And if we're dealing with something that's almost entirely undetectably you know, real or false, but we think it's real. What have they been kicking out? You know, how many of these videos? What if the bombs landing in Tel Aviv right now are, you know, the product of AI? Just as an example, I don't think that's necessarily true. I'm just throwing it out
But
there.
we really don't know.
Right? You know,
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
You're right.
assassination attempts and so on and so forth. We could, I mean, we're having a very curated experience. We know that our reality doesn't really represent reality at all. But you know, on that level, maybe that's what we're going to
Yeah,
find out.
and this is where discernment is our spiritual weapon against everything. And you know, that's why another thing, like there's so many AI like dub over videos coming out, and it's interesting to see like so many people instantly are like, oh, that's AI, that's fake, but so many people instantly fall for it. And it's like you really need to learn discernment. And that's exactly why, because there's going to be a lot of fake stuff out there. And not to say it already hasn't been out there. I mean, people will argue that this stuff has been out since the early 2000s on the news and stuff like that. So,
But doesn't
yeah.
it line up with, and we got this planetary alignment, we've got this crazy solar weather, we've got these, you know, alleged DNA upgrades happening. I think this is forcing a human evolution, and it is a bifurcation because, you know, there are some folks that are just they're just not ready to go along with this. So there is a split.
Yeah.
I just think it all makes sense. I don't think AI is going to be overwhelming at all once we wake up to what we really are. And I think that's the big news in all of this is, oh, hello, you're much, much bigger than you ever thought you were. And here's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, and AI can be a tool to assist us. It's never going to be bigger than us because we are the most magnificent things in this universe. I think humans are. And you know, AI can assist us, or it can be our downfall, like why Atlantis fell. And it all depends on, you know, how we use it and how much society really evolves on a soul level. You know, this is a spiritual ascension more than anything, which I always say. And
Right.
it's our connection within and with God, with source, whatever you call it, you know, that really calls the shots. It's not this giving our power away to these outside saviors. You know, we can't give the power away to AI, but we can use AI once you harness the power within.
Right. You know, here's a take from David Martin. I still have this in the StreamYard clips. This is about a minute, you know, because we actually have 12 cranial nerves or 12 senses. In fact, a gentleman that was at David Martin's 12 senses this year in February 2025, his name's Denver, and he's we're posting these chats he's having on each of our 12 senses. And this is David's take on AI. And I thought I'd just share it with you guys. So here it is for one moment. And if you're not familiar with David Martin, it might be time to get familiar. The guy is freaking brilliant. So here we go.
As I said before, I teach a course called the 12 Senses course. We have 12 cranial nerves, which means we have 12 direct wired into our brain senses. Since Aristotle, Chris, we've only been authorized to acknowledge 5 of the 12.
Oh, yeah.
So here's a tiny little problem. Is AI going to actually pick up the other 7 intelligences, the other 7 senses, the other 7 attributes of human awareness that we don't even acknowledge and have not acknowledged since Aristotle? Is there any chance that we're going to build a machine where the input's based on about 2.7 of our neurologic capacity senses? Is there any worry that a 2.7 machine-based AI is going to compete with a fully functioning 12 cranial nerve, 12 sense human? And the answer is, doesn't have a chance.
That's
David is absolutely brilliant to listen to on almost any subject matter, really.
You know, I've heard, and I know a little bit of this goes into the new age stuff, which I think there's both, but I've heard that that's like the theory behind the 12 apostles in the Bible and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Makes sense.
I agree with him. There's no way that AI can ever take over and be more more intelligent than a human being. It's just the reason why that the demons want us, and the whole point of them sucking our essence out of us is because they don't have the God gene. They don't have the ability to create. They don't have the ability to discern. They don't have what human beings have. They're
Yeah.
jealous of us. They wish they can be us. So
Which
AI will never, ever, ever take the place of humans. It will never be as intelligent. And most importantly, AI does not have a soul. And if you don't have a soul, you don't have connection to God, and you don't have that God intelligence. So there's no way that and we're ever going to be taken over by AI. I'm not afraid of it. I agree with that man, what David and I agree with you guys said, and Marin says. Yeah.
and this is why me and Lady D say I will never apologize for being an emotional being and being fiery and having emotions, because that's what separates us from robots. Like, robots don't
Yep.
have emotion. You know,
Right.
we come here to
Right.
experience emotion, and God damn it, I'm gonna
Right.
be emotional. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, there's something about this co-creation, you know, and I think we explore that, you know, with our own creative potential and our own accountability in our lives as part of, you know, our spiritual path and whatnot. But when you really think about the compound nature of co-creation, that we really do roll out the reality in front of us. I mean, it starts with this small list of things, these materials that produce everything, and it's ultimately the frequency of the energy of the thing that determines what it does. You know, the heart cell versus a liver cell or a brain cell, it's all frequency. It's all made of the same stuff.
Mhm.
And so when we compound that by co-creating, if someone were to harness our perception in the way that they have to curate our experience so that they could provoke that creative ability, then we are creating the world that they want us to create. It's happened over and over and over. And I'm pointing out the obvious to you guys, but it really is that simple. And I think it's probably explained, in quantum physics,
Yeah.
pretty
And
well.
this is why I always say we're in a frequency fence, and that has everything to do with 5G towers and chemtrails and shit they put in jabs, metals. It's all correlated together to keep us in a frequency fence. I've been saying this
Yep.
for 15 years, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. It has always been a frequency war. And people that deny it, it's like, you guys believe in Wi-Fi and heart monitors and all these things that can literally measure that we're frequency energetic beings, but you don't believe that the powers that be are keeping us in a frequency fence. Like, come on.
Well, how about Max Planck's work, or the famous sled test? The idea that it's the observer that determines
Exactly.
whether it's a particle or a wave.
Yeah,
It's our observation that determines
exactly.
the reality.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm making a leap there, but I
You're
No,
not.
that, like, the quantum
it's
physics stuff and
appropriate.
string
Yeah.
theory and all of that stuff is the stuff that woke me up to all of this. Was learning the law of attraction led me into all of that. And
Yeah.
it's absolutely accurate, and it's like people deny it, and it's like, how, we are energetic beings. Like, what do you mean? Yeah.
Right. But quantum physics all speaks about it, which I believe quantum physics is basically the science of spirit. But like
Yeah.
you said, Scott, basically there is no solid matter. Everything's vibrating.
Yep.
And when they took an atom and a quantum physics put it under a microscope, all right, it's vibrating, but just the intent and looking at it. So basically, it was like when they looked under the microscope, it was all vibrating, and it's all vibrating, and they call it it's a constant state of vibration and in other words, it will move depending on your intent. So when a scientist put one intent and focused on one thing, the it would vibrate on one frequency, and they could change it, but there is no solid matter. It's on a state of, what do they
Yeah.
call it, a state of constant perpetuation, meaning that it means that it's vibrating, but it's not solid. It can change. So it goes back to when a tree falls in the forest, can you hear it? And it's no, you can't hear it because you're not there. It has to have an eardrum to hear it. So
The
in other
observer.
words, you
Yeah.
have to have an observer.
which
Yeah,
is the I
that
am.
kind of
Which
stuff
is,
is like my favorite. My favorite topics about spirituality is this stuff, like the quantum physics, the frequency, the vibration, because it literally is like the backbone to everything. It's everything.
well, it's the I am. You know, the
Yeah.
that is the observer. You know, so that is the God presence in all of us. I mean, if you if you read the Bible through the lens of a physicist, you're going to get a little bit of I think, a more detailed and profound take on this stuff. But we do create our reality largely.
Well,
I mean,
I love that I heard you brought that up. I think it's in the Bible, the I am that I am. And somebody once, coming across my research in that time when I was first diving into all this, someone was like, no, there's a comma. It was like, I am that, comma, I am. Like we are everything. We are in everything. And like that just was so profound to me. Like we
this
are
was
everything.
the big debate over revealing the name of God had everything to do with the name of God being the I am. You know,
Mhm.
it's it's a very disruptive concept, but I got to lean on our shows with Ethan Lucas because the guy's memorized the Bible long
Wow.
time ago, and his take on it is, I mean, he's an anarchist like I am. Why would we seek to be governed? We're so much better than that.
Right.
Why
Yeah.
would we need
Well, I think
government?
Jesus was an anarchist. I do.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
And then
Flipping
they,
over
of
fucking
course, they
tables.
killed him and inverted everything that he said. Like he did not want to be worshipped, but you can't
No
tell like a
religion.
Catholic person that,
No
it's
idols.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
I want to bring so our friend Rick, who got us on, if anyone's in the Northwest, Scott and I had the honor of being on John Curley from Cairo, or he was formerly on Evening Magazine, like, I don't know, 12
Hey,
years
John.
ago.
Yeah, I don't know. He won't admit to watching the show, but
Yeah.
he's out there.
So John sent Rick, our buddy, this interview, and I'm only 30 minutes in, but I want to show you guys and Scott what the subject matter is on this. It is incredible. The gentleman's name is Thomas Campbell, and if I scroll down, and I'm just gonna give you guys the subject matter, because luckily somebody did the breakdown right here. Burning burning Afro beats. So thank you, Burning Afro beats. So here we go. I'm just going to read the subject matter. So if you guys want to delve more into this interview and this subject matter, you've got discovering the nature of consciousness. This guy's been looking at this stuff for a very long time, and he came very highly recommended to Joe Rogan. And somehow Joe stumbled across him, whether it was a recommendation or whatever. Anyway, understanding virtual reality and perception, the purpose of human existence in a virtual world, the concept of free will explained. We're just getting started here. Exploring the evolution of human consciousness, the relationship between love and cooperation, analyzing the materialistic ethic in society, insights on non-physical entities and experiences, delving into the UFO phenomenon and consciousness, the intersection of science and spirituality, legal systems and consciousness development, learning through choices and experiences, intent and consciousness, the collective experience, and rethinking of the future, or rethinking the future of consciousness, just to get started, just to let you guys. So if that subject matter is interesting, check out Joe Rogan and Thomas Campbell. And like I said, I'm only a half hour through it. It's already blowing my mind. So just food for thought for folks.
Yeah.
We're
I'm
going to
gonna
play the
check it
clip or
out.
no?
I couldn't. I just found out about it so quickly that
Okay.
there might be a clip, but I'd have to
Gotcha.
dig through it, and I didn't want to do that to everybody.
Yeah.
But that's enough to tantalize you, I would think.
Oh, for
So,
sure.
Well, there's a lot about what's happening right now that's very confronting, and I imagine the further away you are from these truths, like, I mean, we've been just balls deep in this stuff from day one, but how rattling it might be. I asked a girl if she wanted to join me for a beer recently, and she sent me two messages because she knows I understand a little bit about what's going on, and it was like crisis level shit. it was insane.
There was a
you know?
lot of red flags that popped out.
Well, sure, and I don't want to throw it to the butt. I was totally
Like
honest.
No,
I
she
had-
she
drove
had
her-
a crisis hearing it, or
well, it was just like
I think she drove herself under.
yeah,
the bus.
I'd love to meet you for a beer, but this is what's going on, and then kind of a thing.
Right.
And I think a lot of
Wow.
people are at that point. I'm not here to mock her or anything. I think a lot of people are kind of losing their shit because their reality is not lining up with reality, and
Yeah.
then again, I mean, how do we even
I
define
don't.
that?
I know,
Word.
like most people in my life are awake to stuff. I'm a hermit, though. I don't socialize really like I used to in my 20s or anything.
Yeah,
But
you and
the
me
people
both.
in my life that are asleep, I have noticed that they aren't waking up at all in my experience. Like the family members and like family friends that I have that are asleep are and detrimental things have happened in their lives where I was like, this is gonna do it. This is gonna wake them up. And they haven't woken up. So I don't know what to think, which is also why I kind of check out because I'm just like, I get very overwhelmed with asleep people. Like it's very overwhelming for me because, I've been screaming to my family for stuff since 2012 and I'm just not seen or heard, which is another thing me and Lady D talk about being the youngest in our family. So it's a personal trigger for me, but I hope, and I see all over social media that people are waking up and their families are waking up, and that's amazing. And I love to read that, but I haven't personally seen it. So I really hope it's happening, though. I really do.
Well, I think here's so my cousin has a son who plays baseball, and he has a friend who's 15, and he's I don't know how many of the jabs that he got, but his insides, his heart is that of a 75-year-old man. And this kid's father is a dentist. And so I asked my cousin, I'm like, okay, is his dad starting to wake up yet? And she's like, no, he just thinks that his son has worked out too hard. And I'm like,
It just, yeah.
And that's my immediate family have been affected. I don't want to say anything just in the by chance that they're watching. I know that they're not, but my family's been affected with the C word and with things, and they make absolutely zero correlation to it at all. Like none at all. They would go get another booster. You know what I mean? So it's very, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take for some people.
Lady D, anything you want to say?
I was going to say that basically, until we get rid of the fucking mainstream media, nothing's going to change. All right, we need to get rid of them.
Mainstream media is public enemy number one.
I know, I know. Okay, so we need to get rid of them. We need to fucking get rid of them because until that happens, nobody's going to listen to anything. And I don't understand why they just don't get rid of them. If they got rid of the mainstream media and they actually put out the news, the real news, people would wake up. So I forget who I was watching. I forget who I was watching. It was someone really brilliant. And I think it was on Joe Rogan. And they said, well, what would be the number one thing that you think would help disclosure? And they said, get rid of the mainstream media. Because until people stop, if they stop listening to lies, and people still are so dumb. People are still so dumb and they still believe everything that's on television. I mean, look what they're trying to do in LA now. They're sitting there telling nothing to see here. It's like the movie, it's like Naked Gun. You know the part when Leslie Nielsen's like nothing to see here with the fireworks.
Go home, disperse. You're fine.
Oh God, I gotta find that clip.
Right.
I can't even believe that people still fucking watch the news. I can't believe it.
The thing is that they can't. It's like they keep on. I lost my train of thought now. What I was gonna say is that they keep on trying to fucking like. I forget. I was just gonna say. Sorry, you interrupted me, Maren. You lost my train of thought.
Sorry, I have a lag. Sorry.
Okay.
It's the contrast.
Go ahead. What I was gonna say is that it's like they can't. It's like as soon, it's like until no, I forget. I lost my train of thought. Go ahead. I know what I was gonna say.
Well, I'm just maybe this will help. The contrast that they provide is brilliant, and I don't think it needs to go away. I think it just needs to become more and more obvious, which it has.
We talked about this with news treason.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
I think the more
You have
absurd,
to have an aha moment yourself.
the more
He's the
absurd
one.
they
He's
get.
the one that made it make sense to me about why. Because I kept saying that for so long. I was like, why the fuck are they still allowing them to do this on the news? Like, we know the news is fake. We know the alliance has control of some of it, if not all of it. Like, why are they still doing this? And he was like, he said that he's like, they want people to not trust it at all.
It's
So
the
you don't
best
go
tool.
back to it and be like, okay, now they're telling the truth. He's like, they want people to completely disconnect from it. And this is
Right.
what I always bring up, V for Vendetta, which is set in 2020, even though it was made in 2005. You know, at the end of that movie, they are all laughing at the TV and nobody cares about it. Like, nobody. They're all just laughing like, oh, look at these clowns saying all this crap. And like, it's a guy saying, it's for your greater good, the entire movie, like on the news. And it's like, I feel like they're kind of waiting for that. But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like the majority still trust the news. So I'm just like, that's why I say,
Yeah.
is this going to take generations? Because the everyday person still trusts what's on the news, which is very disheartening to
But
know.
Not everyone is like ascending through this. You know, the idea is
Yeah.
this is really cementing it for the people that can see through this shit. You know, because it is exactly like the Leslie Nielsen scene.
I got the clip pulled
Yeah.
up. We're gonna play it for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when the guy said, you know, fiery but mostly peaceful protests, it's come on, you know,
You
who
can't
can't see through
gaslight
this
it.
shit? Who can't see through
Imagine
that shit?
being that person
Yeah.
that like trust.
They can't gaslight everyone. It's like, are they going to try to gaslight the people? That's what I was trying to say. They can't gaslight us anymore. Are they going to really say peaceful protest when we can see we have eyes and ears?
Well, here we go. Let's play this clip. Hopefully this comes through.
All right, come on. Nothing to see here. Please disperse. Nothing to see here, please.
Yeah, might as well be CNN.
Oh my god.
Right. It's like mostly peaceful. You know what I loved? The best one was when CNN sat there and said, it's just a bunch of friendly people watching cars burn.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think what
just-
we're gonna see tomorrow is gonna be over the top.
This is why I can't, because I don't get, like, I get so frustrated with the news because I know that there's people out there, and not a big part of my family, only a tiny part, but like, I know there's people out there that still watch the news and believe everything they say. And that little percentage of people that I know, like, it just triggers me. I'm just like, how can people literally watch this and believe what they're watching? Like, I can't wrap my mind around it, and it drives me mad. Like,
Yeah. So someone reached out to me the other day. I forget who it was, Facebook. I'm like, do you guys realize I have 3 friends, Scott and I both, that wrote for the Tacoma News Tribune, all vaccinated. They've all passed away. And we've picked up the reporting in the Tacoma whatever area. You know, and I don't know. I don't really know how many people watch our show locally. There might be a few. But yeah, it's just they're just not seeing it. I mean, you can literally have people passing away and they're still not seeing it. They're just not able to connect the dots.
It's about coherence, you know, and this goes right back to quantum theory. And this is, you know, this is some solid stuff. Emotion is just a lack of coherence. When you're
Well,
triggered, when you're upset, when you're Yeah, dude, yeah,
And this is like
that-
what I
no,
literally
you're out of
believe in
coherence.
NPC theory more and more. It's like, how,
This is
if you can't see what's going on by now, like, do you even have a soul? And I feel evil saying that. Like I told Lady D, I'm like, I feel like Klaus Schwab sometimes because I'm just like, God, these fucking humans. But it's like,
the
I
80s
don't know exactly. NPCs, like, you know, Dolores Cannon talked about NPCs
Yeah,
for
the background
years, since the 70s. She called them filler people. And I'm sorry, but I know so many people think that that is like new age and not a nice thing to say, but we have to accept reality. I think that NPCs are put here to enforce the matrix, just as we are here to tear it down. That's really what I believe.
or they're here to illustrate that you're in a matrix and they are
Exactly.
facilitating.
They're here to show
your
us what we
ascension.
don't want to be. It's the contrast.
And I
Because
think
we're
that's
in a duality reality.
right, but I
you
think
know?
that's about the coherence I'm talking about. You know, rather than spinning out emotionally about it, I think, you know, the acceptance of some of these things as being the facilitator of our ascension or our understanding of what we're going through. You know, I mean, that leads me to gratitude, which is a good thing.
Right.
Whereas
And it's
if
like
it
you
led me
can't
to
have the light without
frustration
the
and
dark.
anger, that's
Yeah.
a lack of coherence. So it's all about tuning your frequency. It's all about getting in line with the higher set of frequencies that we're going to be operating in. And
NPCs are almost
that's where we go beyond the AI. That's where
Yeah.
we, you know, like with telepathy and with accessing, you know, all let's just say all of the truth and knowledge and experience and wisdom that you've gathered from every incarnation. If you could tap into that, AI doesn't have shit on you, you know,
No.
but it would be very useful when it comes to driving your car or your airplane or whatever.
Or the robots that
Yeah.
Scott really wants
Whatever.
around the house.
No, it's not so much
Yeah.
the robots. It's the flying car. I mean, it really is the vertical takeoff and landing I'm after.
I'll
But
take a robot maid anytime, so I don't have to
Yeah,
clean.
that's what I'm talking. Scott would
Sure.
love a robot maid that doesn't just clean.
no, that's not at all what I've said.
Oh,
Not even-
No.
no,
I think
no,
Joe
no,
is interjecting
no.
and projecting a little bit here. It's
Hey,
okay,
no,
Joe. You're gonna have everything you
Oh
ever
God.
wanted.
Well, so I wanna play something for you guys. Now, a lot of people have seen this clip, but it kind of goes back to the whole if people are aware of consequences, then they may not do the stupid shit. So here's I don't know if this is a sheriff, but it's someone in Florida who's done with the bullshit. So I'm gonna share this with you guys.
That's all of us here.
Oh my God. This is a Florida sheriff, and I'm going to play this. This is, wow, this is a zinger. So here,
Oh, that one.
here, oh, it's so good. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
We're gonna be notifying your family.
Oh my God. Here we go.
What
I
part of
loved it.
Florida?
Down for you. All right. And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right, this is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got to stop. You're watching what's taking place out there. You're seeing police officers that are being attacked, being spit on, being put in harm's way just for doing their jobs. You're seeing ICE agents that are being targeted for doing their jobs. And you're seeing obstructionists that are doing all of this, standing in the way of law and order.
FAFO.
Marin, thoughts
Love you.
immediately being in Florida? Look at that smile.
Oh my God, I'm sorry, but I also just like in my head, I'm like, we're watching a movie. Like,
Entirely.
I saw
Yeah.
someone when I went online earlier to post on Instagram that I was going to be on your show tonight. And I saw somebody posted like a meme and it was like Ron DeSantis is saying run over people who are running. And I was like, oh God, what's going on right now? But
I
Florida
heard he
don't fuck around. Fuck around and find out in Florida. Okay?
Exactly.
He's basically given permission if you are in your car and there's people trying to stop you and you feel threatened, it's like, you know, a personal offense. Get the fuck out of there. If they're
Right.
stupid enough to stand in front of a moving car, well, you're a dumb shit. Get
That's
the
how it used to work.
yeah, fuck
That's a-
around and
this
find out.
isn't a new
This is
thing.
where
This
I
is
feel like
how we used to
I've
operate.
never experienced anything in Florida, but you know, I think it's happening in like the big blue cities like Miami and I don't know where else, but like I've never in the last 5 years, I think I've seen maybe 2 Biden bumper stickers. Like I don't see any of that shit ever.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you got to look on the walkers. Usually it's
Oh,
those bumper stickers are on the walkers.
You know, even in blue states, I'm from Minnesota, which is blue, and my boyfriend's from Virginia, which is very blue. And you know, we go home for holidays and stuff, and like I still see Trump stuff everywhere. So another reason how you know mainstream media lies about everything, you know?
Yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
know Virginia was that blue.
Oh,
I mean, I
Virginia
guess
is
it would be.
so blue.
It's an extension of DC, I suppose. I
It's
should have
so
known.
blue, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
it's
mean,
CIA.
is it really?
Oh,
But
fucking state.
they
Yeah.
say that it's blue. Yeah.
That's the farm. I mean,
Yeah.
it
wow.
is.
You know, I got to bring this up. So this is so Scott and I and we want you ladies to be a part of this because you run channels. We've been invited from Mel Carmine to be part of Dear Mr. President. It is a documentary on censorship. And Mel is a very interesting character. We understand that. We don't align with every single thing that Mel does, but he's been a friend of ours, and he's an Italian New Yorker, so if you will. And I'm just looking right now because someone said they're going back and forth between this show and News Treason, and they're loving both shows. But I just want to tell you guys right now, we have 44,000 subscribers on Rumble. And let's just take a peek here just to give you guys a real live update. And I guess they have about 50,000 followers on News Treason. They're not as shadow banned
We
as
have 116 watching on Rumble.
They have 3,675 people watching their Rumble channel. And we have how many, Scott?
116, 120. It just hopped up.
Like we've dug into some really heavy, interesting topics. We're associated with Lewis Herms. So the
We've been at this
censorship
for a few more years.
yeah, a
as
couple
well.
more years than we're going into our 3rd year. At the end of July starts our 4th year. But it's just insane what we're up against. So thank
Oh,
you for
yeah.
those who are
I
watching.
know all about the shadow banning. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you do.
So talk a little bit about this. That was my
It
whole
doesn't help that I'm on the show because I'm so shadow banned. I started a YouTube channel 10 years ago, and my channel's now this is my fault because I'm not consistent, but I am also very shadow banned. So I feel yeah, and Lady D is as well. So
Lady D, talk
Wanna
about a
ask-
little bit about your shadow banning then, please, if
Me?
you don't mind. Yeah.
You want me
Yeah.
to talk? I'd be glad to talk. Great. So yes, I'd be glad to talk. So anyways, yes, I've been shadow banned. I've been shadow banned on YouTube all the time. Absolutely. It started from the beginning. So yes, they take away my subscribers. They take away all kinds of shit from me. So yes, it sucks. What can you do? What can you do? I went from having like 5,000 subscribers. They go down, they go up, they go down, they go up. So it totally fucking sucks. But there's nothing we can do about it, right? You just have to keep on keeping on.
So how do you stay? I mean, we figured out a way, I would say 90% better than we used to stay pretty positive. How do you stay positive? What do you do? And then what do you focus on to just keep getting the word out?
Me?
Yeah.
I
Yeah, you.
just don't give a shit. I just say what I just say it. I just say it. I just say it. How do I stay positive? Well, my personal life sucks. Okay. I'm going through a divorce right now. I don't have any money to do it. I don't have any people that are around me that are really, let's say, there's not anyone that's really awake. So how do I stay positive? I go online, I meditate, but it's hard. It's really hard because all the people that I love and I resonate with, like Marin and everyone, they're not around me. They're not around me at all. So it's hard. It's hard.
We
I
need
just go
smash
on.
drums. We have to beat things.
And a little tequila once in a while.
I can't drink. I smoke weed. I can't drink. If I have one drink, and quite frankly, no offense, I know some people have drink, but when people are really, really drunk, I can't stand be around drunk. So
No, and it
I
opens you
can't.
up to all kinds of. I mean, you're basically putting up a welcome demon sign. You got to be very
Yeah.
careful. Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Oh,
Well, then
so Jake, wait a minute. Jake Ski 35. I already have my king. I know who my king is, Jake
Yeah, you do.
35. And all right, and if you want to know who my king is, you need to fucking rewind the show.
Hey, you can't blame a fella for trying. You're pretty cute.
You're hot, Lady D.
Oh, I
oh,
don't think
here,
he's making any passes at me.
Well, let's just give the fellow his due.
now we have some update on Marin's channel. It took a lot of searching for me to find Marin's YouTube channel after watching her on Lady.
Oh, I bet.
This is what we're talking about.
I'm on
Yeah.
my 5th Instagram page, and it took me almost 3 years now to get over 1,000 subscribers on Instagram. And my 5th one, my 4th page had the most followers. I think I was at like 5,000. And now my 5th one, it took 3 years to just get over that 900 hump. It's ridiculous how shadow banned I am, which is another reason why I just take a step back from social media, because I just get so frustrated because it triggers my not seen or heard wound that I have from childhood over and over. So it's just like torturous to myself,
Well, it seems like the Instagram model is like film yourself in sweaty yoga pants and at the gym a lot, and just kind of objectify yourself like completely. And then you're certain to have a massive following.
Now,
But
how's that working for you?
I stopped doing it. I stopped doing it. It wasn't really getting me where I wanted to
I
go.
think it's usually women that you're referring to, right?
Entirely. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
No.
Yeah, that's not really something I
No,
want to see.
what's funny was, I mean, honestly, on Instagram, the funniest thing, this is a side note, but this whole, there he is. Good boy.
He's
Uh,
tuna. He's tuna.
He's biting my foot down here.
The boy that survived the hurricane in a refrigerator.
He did. My refrigerator.
But it's like all those videos of women like upset that men were watching them working out, and it's like, how do you not notice that? It's like if you dressed yourself, like if you wrapped yourself in an LED lights and walked into a dark space, it's how do people not notice?
They're putting their labia on the camera.
Yeah, it's absurd. And the degeneracy is just unreal.
That's how you get big on Instagram. Yep.
Yeah.
Just show your lady bits. Yep.
Wow.
Well, and that's the other thing. And Gigi Young did a recent video I encourage everybody to watch about how OnlyFans that's black magic. I mean,
Oh yeah.
that really is
Gigi.
culted magic. Yeah.
Love Gigi.
Yeah. I mean, when we talk about an offense to women, hello, feminists. That's where it's really at.
Well, now there's
You know,
women betting one, and now they want to go for 2,000 men in a day.
Oh, it's disgusting.
That is not
Well,
good
no,
for
it's the
little girls to
debasement.
see that.
No, it's the absolute debasement of women, and we all come from women, out of women. Like, you know, the whole idea that, you know, they're blaming men for disrespecting women. It's where we all came from. You know, most of us have a lot of love for our mothers
and sisters and
yeah,
aunties
all the
and-
extensions of that. You know, it's absolutely overplayed, and I don't know, it offends me. I mean, I guess
They don't
offensive taken,
respect
not given.
themselves. They
No,
don't respect themselves. How can they have any, how can they let anyone else respect them? If they don't respect themselves and respect their bodies, you know, this whole, you know, this whole women's lib stuff. I understand. I'm not saying that I'm not for women's rights, but they kind of screwed us with the
Well,
women's
yeah.
lib because
oh,
Well, this
100%.
just
It
came
was a
up.
CIA fucking invention.
This just came up,
Right.
guys, and I've seen this today. One of those women is actually trans.
Just one.
really,
No, I'm speaking specifically of the one who had sex with 1,000 men. So
Oh no
Ew.
shit.
yes, yeah, it was that was
ew.
a man that did 1,000 men. So are
Oh,
they? So this is my question. So, you know, the vagina that they create from surgery is literally a wound. So I don't know how that, I mean, what they're opening themselves up to that's insane that they think that
you think of the spiritual implications.
oh my
of that.
God. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering
I
about
mean, you're
that.
literally creating trauma.
Yeah.
Like, publicly,
Right. And
for everyone to
we
consume.
might be getting a little graphic here, but like Joe said, they have to create that womb. But not only that, they have to keep something in that false vagina to keep it open. Because
And
it's a womb
it
that's
can
trying to
literally grow. It can literally grow
Oh.
the pubic hairs inside. You know,
Oh,
this is
God.
from
Yes.
the movie What is a Woman? So this is where I learned
Yep.
some of this stuff as well. It's just
Yep.
this is beyond. This is beyond. That's not even a so it's like Victoria's Secret. Those aren't actually women
No,
that
they're
are parading around as Victoria's Secret angels.
I don't know. Wait, where is it?
A
I don't know what this
mangina.
means. Up the Gary?
Up the Gary.
Up the Gary.
like the mangina. That was good, the mangina.
Okay, so
Yeah, and are they really? And we have no proof they're doing 1,000 men in a day. Now, how are you going to now all of a sudden do 2,000 men, and you're just going to go more quickly? Like, I don't know. I think I'm calling bullshit on a lot of this.
When he got out of the porn was just like emotionally crushing and a lot of tears, and then there was the revision to that, but. The whole thing's absolutely disgusting.
It's fucking fabricated.
but,
I heard
this is-
Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret is that they're all men. I know
Right,
men don't
but-
want to hear that, but
But I'm just saying
He doesn't. I was fine. No, I'm kidding.
This
None of
is
us wanted to hear that.
cannibalism. In another form. This is the devouring of an individual. For the ritual. It's a ritual sacrifice. They're
Yeah.
participating in albeit allegedly consensual. And I'll tell you, when they were rolling heads down the pyramids in Mesoamerica, that was voluntary too. Everyone thought they were doing great. This is why I always say when everyone talks about the battle between good and evil, it's subjective, and you need to be very careful with that, because back then that was good. We tend to frown on that now, but it was good. So think of balance, because that's God's language. That's nature's language.
Right.
But doing shit like that's human sacrifice.
Oh, just
Just-
which is
Alright,
like literally everything. And this is why, people don't understand why, we call out like all these major corporations in Hollywood and everything, and they're like, oh, you're just negative about everything. But it's like they're literally representing that in everything in today's society. Like, it's all about that. Like, they put fetal cells in all these products, in the fast food. Like, it's all like turning us into cannibals. Like, they're doing this on a mass scale all of the time. And it's like, the more that you wake up to it and realize it, the more you're going to talk about it, because it's literally in everything in society, like all of Hollywood. I mean, the word Hollywood is about a actual wood that they used to like put spells on people. Like everything is tainted, like
What
everything.
you'd make a magic wand out of that you would
Exactly,
enchant different
exactly.
intentions. Yeah. When
Everything
you look
has
at the
been
weapon of porn,
inverted. And
you
that's where like the whole Satan's Little Season topic fascinates me as well, because it makes so much sense that that's what we're in, because everything is inverted. It's not just some things, everything. Like everything is a lie.
no, but you look at birth rates, they're pathetically low, and you look at the fact that teenagers have erectile dysfunction, and you look at pornography as a weapon, and you realize that they've turned our procreative impulse into an impulse to watch other people engaging in an activity where you're separate.
Yep.
You're separate from it. So how do you engage in that? I mean, they've hijacked like your most intimate impulses and created something entirely new where you're not a part of it. And
they're getting the
Well,
rest of the population to castrate themselves and think that they're the opposite sex so that they can't procreate. Like it's the most obvious thing. Yeah.
No wonder everyone's gender confused at this point. I mean,
It's also in the vaccines for sure. 1000%.
Certainly. Yeah, I mean, it's everywhere. It's in the air we breathe. It's in the water we drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lady D, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that when you have sex with multiple people, people don't understand that. When you have sex, you exchange DNA, and that DNA stays with you. And when you have sex with people that have spiritual attachments, let's say, for instance, people that drink, people that get drunk, okay? As soon as you get drunk, whether or not you're an alcoholic, you open yourself to an attachment. Okay, that's why when people are drinking, they become obnoxious. There's nothing worse than an obnoxious drunk, right? They don't remember anything. They black out because the demon takes over them. So when you have sex with people that are drunk, or because when you open your listen, I smoke weed. I'm not saying people that have a few drinks. I'm talking about people that go out and they get shit-faced all the time, and they go out and they hook up with different people. When you have sex with someone, you're having sex with their attachments. You're having sex with all the spiritual entities. You're exchanging DNA, and that DNA stays with you for at least 3 months. So people think it's just a hookup culture. No, it isn't. So that woman or that thing, that trans, that he, she, it thing with the mangina that's having 1,000 men, that basically, think about the attachments that thing's going to have by the end of that romping session, so to speak.
Oh, it's monstrous. Yeah.
They don't call it spirits for nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of gross. Yeah, people don't understand that. Now, not to be gross, but if you ejaculate and when a man ejaculates into a woman, it's not just about pregnancy. You are exchanging DNA.
Yep.
So you have to, and that DNA stays with you, whether you clean yourself or not. And when you exchange DNA, you have to think about what's attached to that DNA. So this whole hookup culture, you can't say that you're spiritual and going out fucking a million people. I'm sorry. It's disgusting. People don't understand the spiritual aspects of it. And you can't, you're not going to ascend if you're going out screwing different people. Okay. And I'm not saying, I'm not pointing any fingers and judging. I'm not talking about people that smoke weed here and there like me, or have a few drinks. We're talking about heavy duty druggies, people that do heavy duty drugs, and major alcoholics. When you black out because you're not in your body. And when you're not in your body, something else comes in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, and I heard 7 years, and I mean, I took, with a few notable exceptions, I took about 15 years off. Just because once you realize, what that trade-off is, you're not, logically, you're not gonna be okay with that exchange, the casual partner and whatnot. I mean, that's a hell of a burden you're signing yourself on for. And what good is that?
There you
Someone
have
in
it.
the chat asked about what about French kissing? Yes, French kissing, you're swapping saliva. I know we're getting graphic here, but if you're swapping saliva, yes, that's exchanging DNA. You can exchange DNA when you just kiss someone on the lips.
Yeah.
Right. Right. That was Thailand Val. So maybe in Thailand Val in French kissing. Interesting.
I
I'm
can't
glad
see
she's
the chat on my end.
glad she's watching the show, because sometimes it's really early in Thailand for her, I think. Maybe she'll let us know.
I know. And I know she's not wearing shoes because she said she doesn't wear shoes anymore. And I love that.
And then
Wow.
there's Jock Annie Boyd said, yeah, porn would be better than tramping. Porn's not, no, it isn't. Porn's not good either. When
Porn
you're watching,
is designed to
yeah,
suck your
yeah,
soul.
right. Porn is not better either. When you watch porn, you are basically watching people. You're watching people sell their soul. It's a soul sucking thing. And when you're watching porn, you're watching something that's sacred. So no, porn is not, you're not going to ascend if you're sitting there jerking off watching porn all day. I'm sorry. Okay. It's not the way it's going to happen.
All
You're
you got to
taking-
know is porn is free for a reason.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a weapon.
And
It's a
also
weapon.
on all of these porn sites, they are trafficking children.
Right.
You're taking the
Right.
most precious impulse you've got, the most creative. I mean, look at other humans come out of that impulse. It's a pretty big deal.
Right.
You're taking it, you're trivializing it, and you're making it about other people.
You're making it
engaged in acts
meaningless.
that you are
Yeah.
observing. It's a ritual against yourself. It's the
Right.
destruction of your own sexual being, I think, in many ways.
You're right. Sex is, listen, we've all hooked up. I mean, none of us are perfect. However, right now, when we're upon ascension, we have to understand that, the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, people were doing that same stuff. Like that was basically the first porn. The first orgy was back down and Sodom and Gomorrah. And you have to ask yourself, why is all the demonics based in sex, right? Think about the Diddy parties. They take a very sacred act, something that should be when you make love with someone, you're exchanging. It's not just about the physical feeling of it. You're exchanging souls. This is a very sacred bond. It's supposed to, you're exchanging your love, you're exchanging your soul. It should be a very sacred and divine thing. And like you said, the whole point of it is not just about physical pleasure, it's about creating a human being. And look how they've perverted it. And now it's like there are some people that are such addicted to porn that they can't even make love to their wives and get off because they're used to watching, all this weird kind of shit.
And
So
that's the exact purpose for it.
Yep.
Well, this is the same thing they did with violence. And,
Mhm.
I know a lot of people say I abhor violence, but, violence is an incredibly creative force. And a lot of great things happened, as a result of violence, but violence shouldn't be taken lightly. It's through destruction is creation. They've just created indiscriminate violence in everyone. Violence really should be regarded in the same way that sex is regarded. It's a creative force. It's a powerful force. It should be reserved for powerful things. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now we're all just a bunch of horny primates that,
Well, and this is
jerking
one
off at
thing.
the zoo and getting violent with one another.
Wait. Speak for yourself.
That's I'm no, but I'm
Why
that's
they
what we
say,
observe
like,
in the
So
world.
I'm in the manifesting world, and there's a huge sector of manifesting where people talk about manifesting while you're having an orgasm, and that's because they know that while you're having that, it's like a portal experience. It's an experience that's a very powerful like siphon of energy, and so that's why porn is free, because when people are experiencing that on the internet with random strangers and they're jerking off and having an orgasm to that, it siphons their energy. Like it's literally an energy vampire. And so like it all plays in. Yeah. It's like draining your essence into these websites where they siphon your energy. And I know that sounds like woo woo, but it's very real.
Well,
Nothing-
then they
nothing
go
woo
ahead
about
and they match, you know, they put it with aunts and sisters and it's just
They put in the suggest. It's like
Oh.
we'll get people vulnerable because the brain. I mean, like we're all drug addicts at this point. We're looking for that hit of dopamine, and your brain is looking for novelty, something new. So it doesn't matter what it is. If it's like midgets on unicycles or whatever, that might be the new thing that gets you off, kind of a thing. But it's stealing from you that essence. It's stealing from you the thing that you truly desire, and now you're looking at midgets on unicycles.
and you got
You're
an
completely diverted.
engineer from Boeing going out to Eatonville or Enumclaw
This just won't die.
because people need to know.
Yeah.
If an engineer from Boeing is going to a sex ranch in Enumclaw and having sex with a horse,
Sex ranch.
it was a sex ranch.
No, I know.
Well, it was in Rolling Stone.
Hell
I
of
mean,
a
this is
term.
like from 20 years ago. It took me 2 weeks to realize that he wasn't the one on the giving end of the horse. I mean, I never knew this was a thing. And it's been a hell of a thing to realize that. And, you know, and now his kids like, oh, how did your dad die? Oh, well, my dad was an engineer and he wasn't smart enough to figure out that, you know, it's probably not a good idea to have a
volume capacity.
have a horses, you know what, in your own. It's just
It's a pretty
this is
simple
a hell of
engineering.
sorry for the subject matter for folks out there, but this is the world we're living in.
Wasn't there a famous historical woman that died up mounting a horse? Same type.
Well,
There's
that's
some
Catherine the
historical women.
Great. No, Catherine the Great. She
Yes,
didn't
yes.
die,
Great.
but there was an apparatus set up over her bed for just that
Okay.
purpose. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. What in? How sick do you have to be? to
And
be in
there's
bestiality?
literally like whole websites for all of these perversions. That's the thing. That's the thing. Like this world is fucked up. I mean, not to mention the fucking Pentagon and everything is all like child P word, you know what I'm saying? And then like that gets exposed on mainstream media and then it's just forgotten like a week later. Like this is the reality that we live in. Like it's absolutely disgusting.
But
Yeah,
how is
I
it
mean,
even physically possible to have sex with a horse? I'm sorry.
I
well,
don't.
don't ask the guy from Enumclaw because he can't answer that question.
Right.
Being an
I guess
engineer,
it's not
I would
because
think he
they're
would have
dead,
figured that
so.
out. Yeah.
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 Well, switching topics.
Thank God.
What about what's your so someone just mentioned this, which is it is an interesting topic. I gotta say. The Beach Boys, you know, grew up, you know, you have to wonder if they're called the Beach Boys for a reason. I know. Let's try and not go all the way there into the gender inversion, but
Can't say comments.
this comment is, I've been listening to the Beach Boys on YouTube and it's amazing how good their harmonizing is. The songs are catchy tunes you can sing along with, and none of them are particularly good looking. I don't know, but I think maybe Dennis Wilson was quite a dapper man. But anyway, my point is, any effect on you ladies with the Beach Boys? My dad's some of the favorite songs that I grew up with, Wouldn't It Be Nice? And God Only Knows. God Only Knows is most likely might be the best pop song ever written. It's absolutely incredible. But any insight on the Beach Boys? Lady D, we'll start with you. Do they have an effect on you? I know that you're a singer as well. Please.
I feel that personally, I wasn't really into them. I do like some of their songs. I like Good Vibrations. And of course, everyone knows California Girls. They were very instrumental in the whole 50s pop. I don't know too much about them. I would be very interested to know if they were Cabal, because I think that they probably wouldn't have gotten too far if they weren't Cabal. They were very instrumental in music, and I wasn't really into them, but I do like, like I said, Good Vibrations is a great tune. They had great melodies, great harmonizing. They had beautiful voices. It's a loss, but I wonder if they're Cabal. I don't know too much about them.
I'm not. I don't either. Marin, any insight on the Beach Boys?
I mean, I grew up listening to that kind of music, the Beatles, like, you know, I have 3 older sisters, and my parents were born in the 50s. I grew up listening to a lot of older music that I still love to this day because it's very nostalgic, but I think they're all part of the club. You don't get big unless you're not, you know? You know, underground music like it today isn't then. You know, back then is when it all started. You know, it started way back with Elvis and all of them. They were all, I think, kind of used as propaganda. That's when it all kind of started. And I don't think the Beach Boys were left out of that. They were a huge name. And
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
they were all, you know, and if you go back into the Beatles and look up the Paul McCartney replacement, it's sort of similar to the Bono thing. Like, it's all just it's all a stage, really.
Right.
It's all programming and brainwashing, and I don't think that you can be that famous without being in the club, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that. Yeah, you know, we've had Mike Williams on, the Sage of Quay. He runs an incredible channel, and he's broken down how I forget which Beatles album it was. I think it was in 66. And he talks about how between recording the album and pressing the album, that it wasn't even possible to do it at that time. The way that the I think their album was released. If I had it in front of me, I could. But it was released, I think, in it might have been 65, because Paul apparently died. I think it was what he said. It was in 66. But anyway, he really breaks things down, and it's really interesting how he does so with the timelines. But I have not talked to him about the Beach Boys, because he was very, very knowledgeable about the Beatles, and the drummer, one of the drummers, claims to have drummed on 20 of the tracks for the Beatles. But I didn't really he'd be a really good person to talk to about the Beach Boys. In fact, I'm going to reach out to him after this interview and just kind of get his take on that, because it'd be good to know. I know there was a lot of drama back and forth between the Beach Boys with I think it was Pet Sounds and Sergeant Pepper. So yeah, I'd love to speak to him about that. Anything you have to say on that? Did the Beach Boys make you
Irritated the fuck out of me? Honestly, I don't
Beach
like
as much as the Beatles.
No,
Okay.
but almost as much.
Wow.
And the Beatles irritate me on such a deep level, and I think it's just because the whole thing was a psyop. It was all created out of intelligence agencies. I mean, it's the whole thing was a deception. I hated the sound of the Beatles from day one. Still do. Now, I will concede there are some good songs here. There's some great writing. I know a lot of people get offended when I say that, but overall, yeah, fuck the Beatles. Just saying.
Well, didn't Paul McCartney was killed. Like,
He was
Paul
replaced,
McCartney
yeah.
was killed.
Well,
was
you know,
killed.
maybe if they would have stuck with that guy, things would have been a little different. But you know,
Yeah.
I have a theory on everybody in Hollywood, and this is just what always resonated with me. I think that 90% of famous people that we see are the trafficked kids, and they are raised with families that are their handlers, like their fake parents are handlers, and they're precisely placed in Hollywood, in acting positions, in music groups, in sports, in politics. Like, I think that all of these kids that go missing year after year after year are the people that end up being famous, because they're all born into it. You can't just be, you know, discovered out of nowhere because you would know too much. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's that, I think it's that deep. I think all of these bands, I think all famous people are the trafficked kids of the world that are born and raised into this society.
Well, you look at
and then it's called Hollywood, which literally means a fucking black spell. Yeah.
But you look at Britney Spears, you look at Hannah Montana and where that went. You look at, I mean, it's so many of them. Oh, who's the other one? The sex kitten. Well, there's so many of them, and they're part of an actual government program. That whole
They
MK
have
Ultra thing.
they all have alter egos, which is part of MK Ultra programming.
But
They have the
what-
monarch mind control, the sex beta programming. That's why
Yeah.
all the Disney stars wear the cat ears and the leopard print. It's
Yeah.
a flex to other. It's a flex to other famous people that they've had the sex programming, which means
All
you
right,
can
yeah.
give them a certain you can give them a certain like tap or do something and it will trigger them into an alter persona where they
Oh,
are like a
100%.
sex slave. It's very fucked up.
Yeah, I
Because
mean, you
you
take
have
all
like
these
children out
children,
there.
you take these
Yeah.
child celebrities, and then you turn them into these sex kittens. What I mean, that's a pretty obvious message. We're sexualizing children.
Yep.
We're sexualizing children. That's the whole
Yeah.
fucking
Kathy
motivation.
O'Brien opened my eyes to this like 15 years ago. I discovered her online a long time ago and it sent me down a rabbit hole about all the MK Ultra programming stuff that they do. It's wild and that's literally what Hollywood is run off of it. Like actually our whole world is, which is the fucked
Yeah.
up thing. Yeah.
Think about Beyonce, right? Now we learned this from Beverly, who's on a channel. In fact, my G Ron's out there, and he's the reason why I met Beverly. Because Ron from Sean Atwood channels out here and Project Rook. So anyway, what she said is that basically before Beyonce goes out, she has a demon called Celeste, and Celeste is this
Yeah.
big, you notice how when everyone wins an award they always say, oh, Beyonce should have won, I'm so sorry, Beyonce. It's because she has a demon called Celeste, and before, you notice when Beyonce goes out, she does all these moves like this. That's her alter ego. She says that her alter ego is Sasha Fierce. That's not her
Yeah.
alter ego. That's the demon that fucking takes over before she goes on stage and performs. And the demon
Right.
is a big demon. Now, there's different types of there's different levels of demons, right? But the one that Beyonce has is, she calls it a Duke demon. It's one of the heads. And that's why everyone lives in fear of Beyonce. She literally is like the head demon of the music
Yeah.
industry.
She has Beyonce,
Release
she has
type.
Sasha Fierce. Every single celebrity has them. Like even what's the big country star had like Chris Haynes, Hannah Montana. Her whole show was about an MK Ultra persona. Like that whole show, Miley Cyrus, the Hannah Montana, that with her wig and without the wig, that whole show was literally about MK Ultra.
Her
They
death
all have
shows
it. Like Nicki Minaj has Roman. Like they
Right.
all have it, and they're so blatant about it, and that's why they all wear like these wigs and they act completely different. And then society is just like, oh no, they're being artsy, and I'm like, no, they're literally under MK Ultra demonic possession, and they get tortured so much that they split into these multiple personalities because their brain dissociates from being under
Right.
so much extreme torture. Like it's
Yep.
a whole thing. Yeah.
Yep. Look at Katy Perry. Okay, so if they're not under MK Ultra, then they're cloned. I mean, look at Katy Perry. Remember when she was like, her eyes like, and she's like, it's like, and it was on camera, and everyone's watching. It's right fucking there.
Yeah.
How can you not see it? What human being? I go like this, and you have to. That's a fucking cyborg. That's a cyborg. That is not a human being. I don't even think that was a clone, because they have clones, but they also have synthetics. That's another thing. Have you heard about the synthetics?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Gigi
so
Young
that's
did a
synthetic.
Gigi Young did a piece on Katy Perry being a repeat offender. I don't know if you saw that, Baron, but,
Of what?
I mean, it's always acting out these Babylonian rituals, like her
I
riding.
did.
on the,
I commented on Gigi
mechanical lion.
posted it. Gigi posted it on Instagram, and I commented, and I was like, she's just another one of their handlers. Like, I don't even think she knows what she's doing. She's just under MK Ultra hypnosis.
You know, she's an astronaut now.
Oh God.
Yeah, like, did anybody seriously believe that? When I first saw that, I thought it was a literal joke, and I didn't know that actual people in society thought that she went to space.
Wow.
I can't even believe people think that.
It gave her a new respect for Earth. You know,
This is why I'm like, we have a long way to go if people actually think Katy Perry went to space. So.
or if Katy Perry has anything to say that would somehow be beneficial to you in your
Well,
life.
did you notice that she had a butterfly with her?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
They
what
all,
they
Monarch.
okay, so that's another thing.
totally.
I posted this before. They all have albums with butterflies on them, like thousands of Hollywood people. It's the Monarch mind control programming. So Monarch mind control is a symbolism that breaks there's beta sex programming, and then they wear the leopard print and the cat ears. The Monarch mind control is the butterfly. And they all have, I remember learning this through Kathy O'Brien years ago. And a lot of those videos have been taken off of YouTube since 2020, but I was researching this back in 2012 when it was all on there. And now, what's her name? Roseanne talks about that a lot. But yeah, the butterfly symbolism in Hollywood is huge, and it's always over one eye because it's the monarch mind control. It's the handlers flexing to other elites that they've had that programming. So then other famous people can go and give them the hand signal or whatever it is, and it will trigger them into that alter persona, and then they can do whatever they want with them. It's very fucked up.
Yeah, but their consciousness leaves. Like, you know, when like a properly indoctrinated MK Ultra victim, they have alters, and you can activate them with a keyword or with a symbol or something like that. They literally become someone else. The consciousness that was there is unaware of it. I mean,
And
maybe
this is where mass shooters
blackout
come in,
drunk
and they
before
never
or
remember
something.
doing it.
Right. Yeah,
Yep.
we've interviewed a lot of people, you know, and they're speaking languages they didn't know they could speak, and you know, they're traveling to different places and accomplishing all these missions and so on. Some of them assassins.
They're always programmed.
Literally murdering people. Yeah.
Yep. The school shooters are always programmed to kill themselves after. And if they aren't, you notice how they never remember doing it? They never remember doing it. Because they're triggered. It's the movie Manchurian Candidate.
They're all on SSRIs.
Yeah.
They're all on SSRIs that I think really facilitate the total takeover of their consciousness after the conditioning that they're
Right.
you know, subjected to.
Right. So if they can't split them by doing the up the pooper. So when they do up the pooper,
the root chakra.
they go up to the crown. What happens is there's a split. And what happens is that creates energetic spikes, and that's how they can control them. Now, if they can't do that, that's when they do like with my Bono, what they'll do is that if he's not willing to participate in that, that's when they say, okay, they wait till they're around, and then they give him a shot. And that's when they put him in a fucking chamber for 40 years and suck the essence out of them. So it's like they will do what they need to do. If you don't toe the line, now look at the 27 Club, right? They didn't all die. They didn't all die from suicide. When I told you, right? You get to a point when you're 27, if they don't toe the line, if you don't make a sacrifice, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
A lot of plane crashes. Small planes.
Right.
Easy to bring down. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. I mean, and they have things that they can give people heart attacks. They have heart attack guns. They can make people look like, you know, they have aneurysms. They have all kinds of this technology to make it look like it really people died of natural causes, but look,
I think they did that with John Ritter, one of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
Lori, I'm not giving out medical advice, but you might want to reconsider that. I don't think it's doing you any favors.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you look at what all the school shooters and mass shooters have in common, it's SSRIs. And I've heard nightmare stories about people that, try to improve their situation, and their behavior was totally unpredictable and completely outside of what they would have, outside of themselves. So I would avoid that. But, I'm not a doctor, no medical advice here.
Right.
Or financial advice for that matter.
No.
by
Just
SRP.
know that you're absolutely right. SSRIs, they change the chemistry of your brain. And think about it. Why would they want to change the chemistry of your brain? For millions
Yeah.
and millions of years, human beings went through depression without SSRIs. I used to be on them, and let me tell you, you won't, but if you try to go off of them, you will have the hardest time. So we're not telling you what to do, but they don't help matters. You don't have to, it's pretty fucked up when you have to take a pill just to be happy. Human
The
beings
root
weren't
word of
meant.
pharmaceutical is sorcery and poison and black magic, which
Yeah.
used to pop right up prior to 2020. But now when you look that up, it takes a little bit of digging because they've of course hit everything. But yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you ladies hear us okay? Because it sounds like we're frozen.
I can hear you, but I can't see you moving at all.
Oh,
I can
okay.
hear you, but you're frozen.
Yeah.
We're frozen.
All right. Well,
Can you hear us? Are we still?
yeah, they can hear us. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Did your
I don't know what's going on. I'm doing everything.
we're figuring it out as we go. Is there any other time we're about 2 hours. Is there
Do you want me
anything
to do a
else?
reading?
Yeah, let's definitely do
We've
a
been
reading.
waiting for the reading, Lady D. Yes.
Yes.
I think.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what do you want me to ask?
Hold on. Let's switch cameras here. We're gonna have to.
No,
Okay.
don't do that yet. This as soon as it wakes up.
And my view,
Oh,
Joe's
what?
stuck like this.
Yeah,
That's all I see.
guys, we are attending to the camera issue as we
All right.
speak.
So why don't I do that while you tend to the camera issue, and I'll do a general reading on
That
if.
sounds great.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
do
a great
general
idea.
reading.
There, we're back.
There
Gotta
we
fix the
go.
camera.
Okay.
Now
Oh,
I
it
can
works.
see you.
I guess it's
All right,
the
let's-
Scotch show at this.
No, it's the. I
It's
bumped the
because you were
camera
talking about
trying to
Big
fix the
Pharma.
problem.
There we go. Okay, we're back.
All
ladies and
right,
gentlemen.
that worked out pretty well.
Big Pharma heard you.
What do you want for me to do the general reading on, folks? Do you have a specific
Uh,
question, Mike?
Yeah. So first
Okay.
of all, what's in store for tomorrow? Because I think the stage is set for some real disruption. Also Israel and what's going on with that debacle, and what are we looking forward to in the next week or two? Because I think we're in the heat of it.
All right, so we'll do the Israel-Iran debacle first. Here we go. No, you can't get a free reading, Jake. No one gets a free reading. I don't work for free. I have to pay my bills. Let me know when you work for free, and I'll work for free.
You don't work for free, but you do work for freedom. There's a
Here we
difference.
go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Holy God, in the name of Yeshua, can I get a general reading on what's going on with Jerusalem and Iran? The conflict between Israel, Jerusalem, and Iran. Anything and everything that we should know that will give us informative information regarding this. What say you, Holy God, in the name of Yeshua?
You're kind of fading in and out.
Yeah.
Merritt, are you hearing that as well, or is that just on our end?
I heard it. I could hear it clearly.
Okay, it must be our connection. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay, all I needed to know.
There we go. All right. Let's put this in.
It's on your end. Yes, it's on my end.
Okay.
Well, hopefully that resolves itself soon.
Ooh, boy. Okay. Well, first of all, I'm getting, yes, they're saving Israel for last. So I'm getting that this might not be the official storm, but let's put it in this way. We're getting to the end of this movie. We're getting very, very close to the end of this movie because this was in the recent past, meaning that I know it looks bad and it's not good for the people in both places. However, this is going to end up being the healing. This is going to give us the healing. Okay. Now, right now, there's a lot of things. We got the high priestess, which means there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. It's not everything appears to what it appears. So I'm not saying it's not happening, but I will say there might be something about remember we were talking about AI. and about how I'm not saying that there hasn't been missiles, but I'm saying that in the news, there's going to be a little bit of AI. And they're going to pump it up more than it really is. Okay. And also, there's things going on behind the scenes that we're not getting the full picture because, hold on, because when we get the high priestess, that means that there's things going on behind the scenes. However, things are going to be revealed. Okay. We also got the hermit card. So this is saying that this is something that's been planned for a very long time. It's been planned, and it's something that is coming out because this is part of disclosure. Okay. And we got the judgment card, which means that this is it. Okay. Remember, we said we're saving Israel for last. So this means this is it. Meaning that what happens now is the judgment card is all about, people think the judgment card is all about, divine judgment. But basically, the judgment card is what happens now is going to determine the future. So this is really, really big, what's happening now between Jerusalem and Iran. Okay. This means the ace of pentacles in the future means that this is going to be it. Okay, we got the Tower card. So this is the final straw that's going to break the camel's back. Okay, so this is it. This means that this conflict is going to bring about the disclosure. It's going to bring about, and it's bringing about the deep state in both states. Okay, we all know that. Okay, so we know about the Zionist Jews. Okay, there are many, many good Jews, but we also know there's a faction of Zionist Jews that aren't the real Jew. They're not real Jews. They're fake Jews. They're the ones that are part of the cabal. So what's happening now is that it's the Zionist Jews that threw the bomb to Iran. It's not the good Jewish people, okay? Because there's factions, just like there's innocent people in Palestine, but there's also people that are part of Hamas. So I'm getting that what's going on now is a faction between two cabal states. It's the Zionist Jews that are fighting with Iran. Okay, but this is going to bring about the demise of the deep state. This is biblical. This is biblical. Okay, and after this happens, we got the Temperance card, which means that everything's going to be balanced. Everything's going to be back to the way it was. In other words, the Temperance card is all about healing, balance, divine balance. So I'm getting that this conflict between Jerusalem, which is basically Israel, and between Iran, this is basically the beginning of the storm. I wouldn't be surprised. Now, I hate to use dates because this isn't a date-based war. This is an event-based war, but this is, let's say, the big final straw that is going to be the final domino that brings about disclosure. So this is big. So I do think that when people said that Israel's for last, what was that part of, what do you call it? The QAnon? This is it. This is the beginning of the end, folks. We are coming to the end of the movie. I can't, you guys are on mute.
Guys, you're muted.
I don't know if it's us or if
can you
it's
hop
you guys.
out, hop back in? We just don't want you.
We're getting a really choppy feed. Audience,
Okay.
can you tell us what you think? Can you
I
hear
heard
her okay?
I
or-
heard her perfectly fine the whole time.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
Marin's choppy too.
you're cutting out for us too, but I think it's us.
It
I
might
think it's
be.
you guys because I can hear you guys fine. I hear Delphine fine. Lady
Give
D,
us-
sorry.
Give us
That's
1
okay.
second. We'll be right back.
Okay. All right.
Leave
So I'll
studio.
do another reading while you do that. All right. I'll entertain them. I'll keep them entertained while you come in and out.
Yeah, I could hear everything fine on my end.
All right, here we go. Let's ask about this weekend. All right, let's ask about this weekend, about tomorrow. Here we go. All right, Holy God, in the name of Yeshua, what is going to happen tomorrow on June 14th? We know it's Flag Day. It's President Trump's birthday, and there's a big. You guys back?
Yeah.
All right. All right. I was going to do a reading on tomorrow, which is June 14th, which is
Yes,
President Trump's
perfect.
birthday. And okay, and everything's supposed to, they have the king, the protest against the king that was funded by that bitch that is the Walton heiress.
Yeah. Yes.
I love how
Okay.
direct both
That
of you women
bitch.
are. You're
Exactly.
just right to the point. No dicking
Well, we're
around.
both, yeah, that's why Marin and I get along. We're both spicy meatballs that tell it like it is. And we're both from the East Coast. And in the East Coast of the United States, we don't mince words.
Exactly.
Right up in there.
All right, let's find out about tomorrow. Holy God, in the name of Yeshua, can I get reading on June 14th? What is going to happen with Flag Day, with President Trump's birthday, the military parade, and these protests? What can we expect to happen tomorrow? What say you, Holy God and Yeshua? All right, I have a feeling tomorrow's going to be a big day. Let's see.
Stop.
All right. Well, okay. So there's a lot of things planned. This was in the recent past, and this is the 5 of Wands. So I'm getting that there's going to be lots of conflicts tomorrow. There's going to be lots of protests. The good news is that Trump is not dumb. He has the military in, he has the National Guard in, and I'm getting there's extra troops in DC. All right. And also, I'm getting that those tanks that are heading to DC, that are there, if it gets out of hand, let's say that those tanks, he's not going to shoot people, but let's say that he'll use those tanks to show a presence that will intimidate people. All right. The shit's going to go down tomorrow. We get the Ace of Swords. So there's going to be a lot going down tomorrow. They're going to try, I'm getting that they're trying to do like a 9/11 on steroids. They want to do it on all the different cities, and they want to make it so it's overwhelming. So it's like they don't want to do it, and that's why this whole thing with the protests. They want to overwhelm our system. They want to overwhelm everything. But the thing is that they're not going to be able to get away with it because the military's involved, because Trump doesn't have the National Guard. He also has the Navy and the Marines. So it's going to be an intense day,
Wait,
but I'm
so
getting that.
It's Trump's birthday tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so
Right.
there's rumors that 9/11 is actually Jesus's birthday. So that's
Yeah.
interesting what you're saying. Okay. Okay, just wondering.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Don't interrupt the reading because you're interrupting my channel, Marin. So
No, I'm just saying, like, it's very
Okay.
interesting, those two things. Yeah.
okay. All right. So anyways, so what I'm getting is that, hold on, I got a break. I got to do channel again. Okay. All right. So what I'm getting that is they're going to try to do a lot of different things. They're going to try to do a lot of different things, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I'm also getting to that, yeah, they're going to want a lot of really horrible things to happen, but it's not going to happen. Now we got the Death card and we got the King of Swords. Okay, so with the Death card and the King of Swords, I'm getting that there's going to be a major change, but it's going to be in the favor of Trump. Okay, they want to instill this horrible change. They want to instill like this major downfall of society. They want to do like 9/11 on steroids, but it's not going to happen. But it's going to backfire on them. I feel like there is going to be some kind of mass hysteria. I feel like there's also going to be I was going to say, not mass hysteria, but they really want, it's going to bring everything out into the open. It's going to bring everything out into the open. So there's going to be some major change tomorrow. Okay, so it's going to come to a head. And I feel like it's going to come to a head and they want to bring down the country, but I feel like Trump is going to be in control and it's actually going to benefit Trump. All right. Now, we also got the 10 of Cups. We got the 5 of Cups and the 7 of Swords. Okay. So I'm getting that. There's a lot of trickery and deceit going on. All right. And even though this protest, they said, is that Walton lady, I'm getting that we funded it. the funds might, like she's saying that she's funding it, but the funds actually are coming from, like, I'm getting like Soros and USAID. Okay. There's going to be lots of loss. There's going to be there are going to be some cities that are going to get the shit kicked out of them. I do feel like there's going to be some kind of, there is going to be riots, and I do think there's going to be looting. Even though Trump has the military, there is going to be some loss. But the final is that we're going to be okay because we got the 10 of Cups. So the 10 of Cups is that we're going to come together as we're going to come together, and they're not going to get away with it. Meaning that the United States as a whole, the citizens that are the legal citizens, we are actually going to be okay. So let's do a recap. Okay, so the Ace of Swords, it's going to be a significant day. There's going to be a lot going on. Now, the Ace of Swords is disclosure. It's not only disclosure, it's everything coming out into the open. Okay, so it is going to be a significant day, but the Ace of Swords also means that it's divinely guided. So meaning that they want to do 9/11 on steroids, but it's not going to happen. All right. It's basically God is in charge. All right. There is going to be a major change. Now, people see the death card, and the death card is all about out with the old and in with the new. And people see the death card and they think, oh my God, this is scary, but this is what we need. So I feel tomorrow's going to be a tipping point. Okay. Also, Trump is going to be okay, and he's going to look good because basically he's going to look good because all these people want to bring down the country, and he has it. It's like he has the military, he has it set. All right. Now, going into the near future, this is something that's planned, and I'm also getting that there's a lot of things, shady things. There are a lot of, hold on. There are a lot of paid protesters, but these, hold on. I'm getting we have to watch for Chinese nationals. All right. I'm getting Chinese nationals. Everyone is focusing on Hispanic people and, people from MS-13, but I'm getting that there's a lot of Chinese nationals that are in our country that they are the biggest perpetrators, and they've kind of like snuck in and no one's really paying attention to them. So there's a lot of Chinese nationals that are about to be a part of this. Now, it's going to be significant and there's going to be a change, but what I'm getting is that we're going to win. So tomorrow, the shit's going to hit the fan, okay? It's not going to be pretty. There's going to be riots. There's going to be violent protests. It is the tipping point. There's going to be a lot of shit going down, but this is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. They want 9/11 on steroids. It's not going to happen. However, it's going to be significant enough that there could be martial law in some cities. There is going to be significant looting and damage, kind of like the summer of 2020. But tomorrow is going to be a tipping point for the deep state, because what's going to happen tomorrow is going to I really feel like finally the sheeples, the ones that are not awake, they're going to finally see the writing on the wall. And I'm getting that the lamestream media is not going to be able to, they're not going to be able to pull the wool over their eyes. They're not going to be able to say nothing to see here. That basically what's going to happen is that they're not going to be able to gaslight people anymore. And I do feel too, there's going to be a lot of live feeds, and the live feeds, they're not going to be able to gaslight people. So
would you say that they're going to show their cards?
They're going to show their cards.
Oh, sorry, I know you love a bad joke.
To show their cards. Yes, they're going to show their cards. Exactly. That's exactly it.
So, folks, don't go out in major city. Like, it's probably okay. What's your advice for folks for tomorrow? I mean, I think I know, but what would you have to say?
I would say if you can avoid a major city, you should.
Yeah, exactly.
I would
take
stay
it
home.
easy, relax.
Yeah,
just
right.
enjoy yourself.
I would avoid public transportation. I mean, we're not trying to scare people. All right. I don't want to scare anybody.
No, just common
But-
Put
sense.
your ass in grass, people.
Right. Right.
That's my
Exactly.
advice every day. Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't try not to, I don't want to scare people, but try not to use public transportation if you can. Try not to go near any protests. If people are planning, if there's one of those stupid, there is, what is it, the King protest, or there are no King's
Kings.
protests?
No kidding.
Yeah. Don't go near any of those. I
You know,
wouldn't
at
use
least
public
tomorrow's
transportation.
Saturday, so people don't have to be like, oh, I have to go to work. Like,
Right.
if you
right.
work a 9 to 5, tomorrow is Saturday, just lay low. If you live in some big blue city, just lay low. And I
Yeah.
say blue because almost every city is blue. So there's a
Yeah.
reason for that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would definitely just kind of stay home, and that's what I say. What do you guys say?
Exactly.
No,
Ask
I
the
agree
grass.
wholeheartedly.
I mean, I'm not going to go do much tomorrow.
Well,
I'll probably
remember-
take the dog for a walk and do my usual, workout for my shoulder and just chill. Maybe watch some. I don't. Do you have a show tomorrow, Lady D, that we can watch? Are you doing anything tomorrow?
Yeah. Tomorrow night I have a psychic live you can watch.
All right, that's what I was thinking.
I will tell you, if we're co-creating our reality, it's best to check out of that creation, entirely. Don't give it your attention. Don't give it.
Yeah,
Don't
we'll
Yeah.
probably
give
do
it.
frisbee
Don't
golf.
give it your
We're going to do
emotion.
frisbee golf tomorrow.
Yeah, we're probably gonna go fuck off and do some.
It's time.
Yeah, why not?
We've done a show a day for the last 5 days. I think pretty much.
Well, sure. Yeah. Well, we fucked off in Costa Rica for like 30 days, but
You're gonna
still-
frolf.
we
You gotta
still
go
did shows.
frolfing.
it was so productive. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm a new man after coming
Yeah,
back.
He said new man, not nude.
No, I said frolf. I heard you say frisbee golf. I said you gotta
Yeah.
go frolfing.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Frolfing.
Hell yeah. God, I wish you were nearby. You could join us.
I
great.
would.
I would too. I
Frolfing
don't
is the
have anyone.
ultimate relaxing sport.
Yep. And I don't have anyone that's awake. I mean, it's like all my friends are on screen. Everyone around here is
well,
asleep.
so
Yeah, we're the
we're
same way.
gonna be coming out to so I'll
We're
just
going to
throw this
Florida.
out there. We're going out to Ireland. We'll let people know this. Actually, so Mark Atwood's been very kind.
Mhm.
He's making the Ireland trip happen. We're gonna be there September 18th or 19th. Scott's birthday is the 20th. And then we're doing an retreat with Mark Atwood from the 21st to the 26th. There's still room if people are interested. We'll put the link below.
Then we're going to
What
Florida.
month is this? What month is this?
In
That-
September. In September.
Wait, Vermont and then
Yeah,
Florida.
then we're gonna fly back
Vermont.
to Vermont, but then we want to do an event.
In
I don't think
Florida.
I don't think we're gonna hold on a second.
Oh,
I
sorry.
have a plan here. So we're flying back to Vermont to meet Lisa Schermerhorn and Barry Fisher, and then we want to do an event in somewhere in the Boston area with you and Patriot Underground, an in-person event in early October, if you'd like to.
Hanging out with Marin. We gotta
Well,
have
that's gonna be. Then we're going to Florida.
well, no, and then we're
Wait,
right by
when are you
Boston,
coming
we're
to
in Vermont.
Florida? Because I'm moving October 24th. I have to move
To
back
where?
the beach.
Back to her
Like-
place.
Oh, but you're staying in
Hurry.
Florida.
Yeah, you'll be in
But, like,
Florida.
Isn't that like the exact week you're gonna be here for some other?
We don't know yet. That's why
We don't know.
that's
And-
why we're saying some of this, because we're trying to figure
You know,
some of this
Yeah.
out.
Patriot Underground, our good friend, is also in near Boston.
Yeah.
So
Really?
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm hoping you get to come.
Patriot
hang out with
Underground.
you.
Yeah,
Doesn't
yeah,
have
yeah.
any friends.
We gotta
Where's
come hang
Patriot-
out with Lady D.
Patriot Underground is in Massachusetts?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know
So-
that.
We gotta come hang out with you.
Well, that's
girl.
why we're talking about
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
you do.
We want to do an event with people in the Boston area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so many truthers on the East Coast. Yeah.
Yeah, you can come. Yeah, I mean, if I'm still here, if I'm not in seclusion with real Bono, I'll do the event with you.
Oh, you
And if
little
you are, we got a whole
scoundrel.
other show to
Yes.
put forth. But yeah, no. So we're gonna hopefully get to see both of you in person on that trip, and then I'm going back to Costa Rica because holy shit, I love
I
that
don't
place.
blame you. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us, how do you make a living there, though? What are you going to do if you go back to Costa Rica?
I don't know.
Well,
Do the show.
we-
I can do the
we-
show from anywhere.
everything we do is the show base now.
Yeah.
It's based on the show.
Okay.
So
No, we're 100%.
Scott will be in
devoted.
Costa Rica, and I'll probably be on tour in the U.S. So that's probably what's going to be happening. by
And
the
then
fall,
Joe will join me in Costa Rica for a moment. And
for
we're
a
gonna
week or two.
we're doing a retreat in Costa Rica in January. And then who knows what's gonna happen after that. I mean, I think it's a little ridiculous to make plans right now, given
Right.
that's how you make God laugh, right? You make a plan.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
We have a
Because you never know
hurricane
what's going to happen in
season.
this movie. Yeah.
I got to figure out
Yeah.
what's going on with my mom, and her health, and all that. There's
Yeah.
a million different variables that will get in the way, but the
Right.
trajectory seems to be in this direction. When we're in Ireland, I think we're going to go see Spain. Hopefully, we'll go back to our motherland, Italy, and enjoy some of that. Joe and I in Bari and Calabria, that would be pretty cool.
I
But,
can't. I can't say it wouldn't. So
well, I mean, his grandfather and my grandfather left Italy at exactly the same time.
Oh, I'm Italian. I want to go to Italy so bad.
They probably knew each other. Yeah. Well, hell,
oh, how
Maren,
much?
you could join us.
I think all of us are
Both
Italian.
sides of my
We're
family.
all Italian.
My mother had Northern Italy. My dad was Sicilian. Like I'm like 90% Italian, and I got a little bit of German in me. But yeah,
Oh my
I've
god.
all
never been
Italian.
to
Let me call
Italy
quite
ever.
frankly.
Well, we're all Italian. I'm just saying we should all
No,
meet
all
up.
of us here, all of us.
Let's all meet up in Italy.
I would love that. I would
What
love
do you
it.
think, Delphine? You
Yeah,
down?
of course I'll meet up in Italy.
Yeah.
I've never been to Italy.
Me
I
neither.
haven't
I've
either.
never.
Let's do
My
it.
parents went like 6 times, but they never brought the children.
Oh
I mean,
wow.
yeah, I've been to Ireland, because I've been to Ireland like before I was with before Clono, I've been to Ireland, and then when I was friends with Clono, I went to Ireland many times. I just came from the UK, so yeah, I've never been to
Yeah.
Italy, and we're all Italian. That's why we're all spicy
Yeah.
meatballs.
Hot time. Yeah.
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 I'm
I would
gonna
love
I'm gonna Lady D, I'm gonna pull up our interview so people can see the interview that we've done before, so they can watch,
Okay.
because this is a hell of an interview. I gotta
Oh,
say.
it was a great interview.
Okay, so I'm gonna share the screen with folks so they can see what to look for on our Rumble or our X account here. So here we go. If you wanna see one heck of an interview, is it further in? Oh, there it is. That's the thumbnail with Mephisto and the actual real Bono. So this is from March 27th of this year.
Yeah, if you missed it, you got to check it out.
So anyway, I just want to let people know about that. But at the very start of this interview, Lady D updated us that Bono didn't go into hiding per se. He was cryogenically frozen. Or how would you describe that one more time?
He was drugged, and then they put him in a coma, right? And they put him in a coma, and then they put him in a tube up. I mean, you probably see these. You see all the people that
Hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
it said.
prepare. All right, so they're
Britney
up.
Spears has the video breaking the
Right,
glass,
right.
breaking the ice.
Right.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
they do is they take his essence. They try to take his essence. They probably did something so they could take the essence, which is his soul, to animate the clone. But the thing is that his essence, his soul was pure. And so what they did is they needed an intelligence for the clone. So they They took his DNA, they cloned him to take a little bit of his soul, but then what they took with that disgusting clono is that there is a demon inhabiting the clono, the clone, to go around and do all the nasty things. So that's what they did to him. And he was just probably about a month ago, he was saved. They call it a silo. So there was a big circular silo somewhere, and I believe it was underground, where the Galactic Federation of Worlds, which is basically the Andromedans and all the different species, the Pleiadians and all the different extraterrestrials, along with our secret space force and the soldiers, they went in, they raided this silo. There was a gunfight. They did kill a lot of people. And the Andromedans, they call him David because his real name is Paul David Hewson, and they go by his middle name. They took him and he's healing now. And so don't be surprised if all these clones all of a sudden, because these people are going to come back, all the real players are going to want to come back and take charge of their lives. Think about what they've gone through. They've been drugged, and Bono, this is not just Bono. This has happened to a lot of people. A lot of the, let's say, the big stars that didn't want to toe the line. If they didn't kill them completely, they put them and they stole their essence. So there's a lot of different celebrities that are going to heal, and they're going to come back and take back their lives. Because think about it. How would you feel if this happened to you? They stole their lives. And I will tell you, though, when this happened to the real Bono, he's basically been in the astral for the past 40 years. Okay. So they took a little bit of his essence, but when he's been in a coma, think about it. When you're in a coma, you're asleep. And when you're asleep, your soul leaves your body. So he's been in the astral the last 40 years. That's why he comes and visits me when I was doing the shows. That's why I dream about him. That's why I've been feeling I'm like, he's spying on me. I know he's around me because he's been in the astral. That's why I knew it.
Wow. I got to say, this 5 years ago, I probably been listening to a conversation like this and saying, Lady D, you're out of your fucking mind. But at this point, it makes more.
As a frequent flyer in the astral, I can tell you, but that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I was just going to say, so many of us who are creatives, whether, whatever your medium is, I looked at the people that were successful thinking, oh man, I wish I could have their life. And what's really cool about this whole awakening is I enjoy the life that I actually have. What a cool thing to actually own what we've created and to make sense of all of our hurdles and roadblocks or whatever. So the point is, I guess, own who you are and enjoy what it is, about your life that you love, and step into the essence of who you actually are, because we're much more powerful than we thought we were, and we can really contribute much more than I think we ever thought more than we thought we could. So it's a beautiful place to be. I think this is really waking us up to our own divine essence, is my whole point.
Right. And if I heard myself talking 5 years ago, I would say I was fucking crazy, but it's common knowledge now. And that's the biggest thing. We do have to take back our essence. And we're going to listen. There's so many I've learned that there is no fiction. Every movie, every television show, from Star Trek to the Star Wars movies to all of these, it's disclosure. We have to understand that the CIA has been running Hollywood, has been running the music industry, has been running everything. Everything is disclosure.
Yep.
So, and we know that Gene Roddenberry, who created Star Trek, he was privy to the Majestic 12 when Valiant Thor, which is the extraterrestrial from Venus, when he came down and spent 3 years in the White House. There is an actual book that he wrote called Stranger in the Pentagon. It's real, it's fact. It was on Ancient Aliens. Go look it up. Valiant Thor, he's an extraterrestrial, a human extraterrestrial from Venus. He came
Yeah.
down and spent 3 years with President Eisenhower.
Yep.
Okay? This is real, folks. This is real. Okay? There is no fiction. So what happened is that after this happened, George Bush Sr., the demon, the older one, he started the Majestic 12. And what happened is that Eisenhower was taking everything that Valiant Thor said and about the free energy and everything. And Valiant Thor warned the governments not to believe the gray extraterrestrials, because the gray extraterrestrials were coming in. They were basically taking control and kidnapping human beings. And they were lying and saying, "Where are you from the future?" Because they wanted to lie and get us. But the bottom line is that Eisenhower didn't sign us away. It was the Majestic 12. It was George Bush and all of those people. They went behind Eisenhower's back and signed away everything. We were going to have free energy. We were going to have world peace. And if it wasn't for George Bush Sr. and the Majestic 12. Now, Gene Roddenberry, he was actually a witness to the Majestic 12, because what happened is that the good factions of the government said, we need people to know what's going on. So they had all the different people. So Gene Roddenberry, all the information from Star Trek is based in reality, because he was privy to all those Majestic 12 meetings regarding all the extraterrestrials. So there is no fiction, folks. All the movies, everything is based in reality.
And we never saw money exchanged in Star Trek, did we?
Nope. There is no need for money.
That's
I would
coming.
ask-
I heard that's about maybe 12 years away. So if you do hold silver and XRP, hold your horses. I think you're gonna realize what it's like to be really, really ultra rich, and then we're gonna move to a society where there's machines that replication
Service to others.
machines,
Yeah.
you name it. Trump actually just did a post recently on flying cars that I just found about.
Yeah.
for doing our
Oh,
show.
I know.
Oh my god.
I know. That's why I'm
I
all
don't
excited
know.
about my vertical takeoff and
There
landing.
should be some people that shouldn't be driving flying cars, though. I will say that. I don't
But your
want
mom's one of
to. I
them.
don't want to name
Yeah.
names, and your mom is certainly another, and your sister. For God's sakes, your sister.
Oh, 100%. Well, they're
Neither
going
one
to
of
be
'em.
largely automated,
For
I think.
fuck's sakes. Yeah, our family.
Oh, for
Some of
crying
them
out
should
loud.
not be behind the wheel.
No.
Anyway, I love driving, and I love driving fast, and he loves driving faster.
I do too.
So much. So
Right.
much.
I do too. We need
It's never
electric
fast
cars.
enough for me. I'm telling you, it's a miracle I still have a driver's license.
One day we will race. I think that's going to be fun on a track with proper. No one's going to be.
Well, that's boring.
All right.
Well,
I
I'm
have
not
a
gonna
question
rock
for you
rock
all.
We
Right.
drive the same car, Joe. It's just yours has been more modified than mine, but I'm getting to that point.
Jake SK135. No, I don't watch Carrie Cassidy. What I get from Spirit and from my contacts. I don't watch Carrie Cassidy.
Yeah.
But I hear she's good. But I don't watch her. But
She's
I wanted
really
to ask you guys.
knowledgeable, but she's really kind
little
of
cranky.
She's a salty bitch, frankly. She just is.
Oh well,
She's-
we're not getting
she's
Carrie
a
Cassidy
bitch.
back
well,
on
she
the
can
show.
come back on, but just
No,
she
she'd probably
rubs
enjoy
people
that.
the wrong way.
Honestly.
I
I mean,
don't think I know who that is.
Huh?
what's that?
Well, she's a salty bitch, so you don't need to know.
Well, I'm a salty bitch, so now I kind of want to know.
I'm a salty
You'd
bitch
love
too.
her. Yeah, she's salty. as
Scott
fuck.
called her out once on our show. It was pretty
Not
funny.
once, like
What?
There's so many Carrie K's. Now I don't know.
No,
what-
well,
oh no, I love Carrie Care. You're talking about the South African gal.
I don't know.
No,
She is so
Carrie
good.
I love
Let's just
at
give
Carrie
'em-
K. She's a phenomenal. I am Carrie K. She is phenomenal. She knows her stuff, Scott. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, she is the shit. I'm telling you.
She is the shit.
Wow. I can't wait
Yes.
to. I'm hoping we can get her on the show because she's just.
you know,
She makes my spine tingle all the time.
what, Carrie K?
She's
Oh God,
phenomenal.
she's great. The
She's
South
phenomenal.
African
Marin,
gal.
she's the one I always send you the videos and I say we go through it and she feels it.
Yeah.
You know her.
Yeah,
Oh,
I followed,
yeah,
right.
I know who she is. I followed her for many years, but I unfollowed her actually in the last 5 years. So I don't
Oh.
know.
Here,
I'm
this
not gonna
is
say
about
anything
Carrie
about it.
Cassidy. She's definitely spicy. She's not very
Not very cheerful.
She's not
no.
cheerful.
Yeah.
I don't know who Carrie Cassidy is, though. I don't know who that is.
Oh, she's a legend in
She's
in
a
the
truther.
community. Yeah.
Wait, she asked Marley Monroe on coke. She's like,
I want
Alex
to see
Jones
her because
read
I
it.
don't know who you guys are talking about. Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, okay. Carrie Kay is a South African that has really great insights because she died multiple times throughout her childhood. Carrie
Mhm.
Cassidy is someone that is well acquainted with everybody in this.
She is an OG. She's an old school
very
truther.
much so.
I don't want
yeah.
to take anything away from her
She
knowledge,
does tours in
but
Egypt
interacting
and
with
so-
her is
she's
not
a-
as fun as the four of
she's
us
a
together.
bit difficult. Just saying. Yeah.
Right, audience? I mean, are we a lot more fun as a foursome than a
No,
lot
I
of
know.
other
I
shows?
know Carrie Kay, the overseas one. I know who that is for sure.
The South
Yeah,
African.
Carrie Cassidy. I don't know who that is.
No,
Mhm.
no. Carrie Kay, the South
Here,
African.
I'll
I
pull
think
up a
is
picture of Carrie Cassidy. Let's see if I can find one with even a smile.
no.
Hold
Even
on.
a picture. Just
Joe's
maybe
gonna be
I would
business
know
now.
because I've known a lot of people since 2012, so I don't even know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, this won't take very long. I think I already found it. Hold on a sec. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. This is a very good example. There we. If I can I
Oh God.
blow this
All right,
up?
We're not throwing her under the bus, are we?
I'm not. No, she's already put herself under the.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you're
point
definitely
stuff
not
out.
getting her back on the show, though.
Honestly, if she comes back on, that's great. You know, part of it is this: if we would ever go viral having a conversation like this, and someone took a clip and sent it to her, I just dare you. Let's see what the fuck happens. We're so shadow banned. I could talk about this. No one's really gonna give a shit.
No,
what
it
we
might
do.
motivate her to come back on the show.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
how
you
I
put me
feel,
on
too.
your show, who is also extremely shadow banned, and it does not matter.
Well, I mean,
Entirely.
the thing is that everyone says you have to be very careful what you say on YouTube. But Sloan Bella has 400,000 subscribers, and she's like fucking shit. She says everything. So I'm
don't know
not
who that
going
is.
back. Sloan
There's
I've
Bella.
never
Carrie
seen that person in my life.
Maren, does
Oh
this
my
woman
God.
look familiar?
Not at all.
Well, there you go.
I have no idea who that
Is it a
is.
video?
That is
Oh,
not
it's
a
not a video.
flattering.
No, I'm not going to
That's
show the
not a
video.
flattering
Well,
picture
that was
of her.
not a
That's all I'm gonna
flattering
say.
photo.
Well, that's my whole
It's not a
point.
flattering picture.
I don't give a shit if it's flattering or not. She
Yeah,
that-
I have
that-
no idea
that's
who
the
the fuck that
feeling.
is.
When I talk to Carrie Cassidy, my energy feels like she looks in that pic. It just drains me. It's just I just she's smart, but fuck's sakes, Jesus, lighten
Does
up.
she talk a lot about
Resting
aliens?
B-face. I love this. This is just so perfect.
What's the challenge? I'll do it. Okay, Jake Ski, take the commentary we've had, send it to her, and see what it does. No one,
Oh,
no
come
one
on.
takes clips of our
What
show.
does this
No,
lady
It
talk
does.
about?
All right, officially, I just want to say, Carrie, thank you for having been on our show.
What did she talk about?
Yeah.
She's brilliant. She talks about all kinds of stuff.
Well, I'm just
Truther.
saying.
She's a
I'm just trying to
truther.
smooth the
I
waters.
just, you know what? At this point, I just don't fucking care anymore what people's
No.
perceptions
Does
are.
she talk about aliens?
I love
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
She
yeah.
talks about
There
everything.
you go. It's a new age.
She's really
Aliens
smart.
are interdimensional demons. Most people that channel aliens are channeling demons. That's all I'm gonna say.
And I wouldn't be surprised.
How do you really feel?
I just wish she could be happy.
I just don't
That's
believe
it.
in that
There's no
bullshit
happiness.
anymore.
Yeah. Well,
There's not
you
much
know.
happiness there. That's my point.
The new age is very, 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 very fake. So
Yeah.
Yeah, here she does.
Well,
this
you
is
know,
what she
you
does.
spend a lot of time on Instagram, so you know what you're talking about.
She exposes the secret space programs. Carrie's fucking great. She's brilliant. She's
Yeah.
I think I've said she's just a little dour, a little
Well, you
negative
know,
Nancy.
you know,
She doesn't bring
spend
to
a
the
lot of
show
time
what
doing
you
anything.
ladies
You
bring
get,
to the
get a little
table.
worn out.
she might be overtaken by interdimensional demons. I don't know. I've never watched.
Right. She's missing
Yeah.
a man, like an alpha man, to keep her. She needs to get laid.
Oh,
Maybe
God.
that's it.
No.
So I should
Oh
probably.
my God, we can't turn this show into beating the shit out of Carrie
I'm just,
Cassidy.
no, I'm not. Look, I'm not saying it. This is.
I'm just saying,
this is-
yeah, clearly.
This is what Jake Ski said
Yeah,
right
well,
here.
Well, he's got a point, but you know.
That might be a she. We don't know. Jake, are you a woman or a man? We can't tell. Probably a woman, I think. There, as long as look, people need to be fucking entertained.
She's been
and
really
the
she's been
viewership
in
is
touch-
going up right now rather than down. So there we go.
I call out the new age bullshit on alien shit, so y'all can blame it on me. I don't care.
You'll be our Milli Vanilli. We'll blame it on the Moraine.
There is a lot of new age bullshit.
Let's get one thing straight. There is such thing as extraterrestrials, and not all extraterrestrials are demons, Marin. There's a difference. All right.
Extraterrestrials are getting labeled as aliens when they're actually interdimensional demons, though.
They're not
That's
interdimensional
why
demons.
I've made many videos about this on my page, and that's just where I stand. I don't care where anybody else stands. That's just where I'm at.
Well, you know, I mean, you know, that's a semantic argument. You know, the idea that you know,
I think we're all talking about the same thing. They're just being
Sure,
labeled different.
That's what I'm getting at. You know, I mean, it's a semantic argument, and people go back and forth about angels versus demons and so on and so forth. It's a semantic argument.
This is why I love Gigi Young, because she really
but
puts
when you get out there,
she really puts that into a very articulate, like, you know, she puts it out there in a very articulate way, to nicer than I would, put it that way. Like, I would be like, damn it, y'all fucking new agers, like, and she's just like, you know, she puts it in a very calm way.
I
but
agree.
yeah,
Well,
you know,
there's a lot of like fantasy thinking in new spirituality and so on, and
New Age says it's aliens, so that you think they're beings above us, when actually these are fallen demons that have been tricking humanity for thousands of years. And it's like, they're just trickster spirits. So all these people that are like channeling aliens are actually just channeling interdimensional demons that are just telling them what they want to hear, because they're channeling through people that haven't done the work that they need to do. And so they channel through people that are very naive, and they just woke up, so they're very open. And not everybody should be opening to these channeling things. So yeah.
So Marin, I was hanging out with a channeler, you know, one evening at a mansion at a party, and I was in a hot tub, and the thing that came through her was really rather interesting. But her
I
eyes
might need to grab a beverage for this.
Her eyes went completely black. I mean, like this is,
I was gonna say,
you know,
you need some
let me set it up. Hold on. Let me set it up. So this gal looked like oh god, there's a celebrity. I can't think of her name.
You need some black tourmaline.
She's gorgeous. She's following me. She ends up straddling me in a hot tub, and she's looking at me. And then her eyes go completely black, like the whites, all of it, shiny black. And I'm looking at her, and there's people all around, but nobody can hear beyond the music and the hot tub jets and everything. And she's looking at me, and she speaks to me in this voice that is not human at all. And I'm like, "Who are you?" And she says, "You know who I am." And it I mean, it freaked me out like it would freak anyone out. But when some of my friends that I do stuff in the astral with, they were like, I think I know where this came from. And we went right to it. And this was an entity that I've been involved with for a very long time. But this is the kind of thing that can happen. I don't know.
Okay, let's do something. There's difference. Okay, the Andromedans that saved Bono, they're not fucking demons. Okay, people that
Thank you.
say that they're channeling entities. Yes, they're not channeling extraterrestrials. Okay, but not every extraterrestrial is a demon. If that was the case, then who the fuck are the people that are with the Galactic Federation of Worlds that are going down and helping? The Andromedans are not demons. These people are not demons. I saw the spaceships. They're not everything's demon. The people that say that they're channeling extraterrestrials, you people are not channeling, they're channeling demons. But there's a difference between a demon and an extraterrestrial. Not all extraterrestrials are demons. All right, because the people that the people that are working beside, that are going down and are going down. Yes, the Andromedans that saved Bono are not fucking demons. All right, there's good extraterrestrials and then there's demons. Okay,
See, that's what I love about the audience. They interject. Guys, we love doing the lives because the audience is a big part of it, and those comments just right there. Yes,
there's
we're
good
live.
Extraterrestrials that are working along with the super space that go down, and they're helping get rid of the people. Let's face it, if we didn't have the good extraterrestrials, we'd be fucked, because human beings cannot go down and take on demonic entities. It's only light beings, fifth dimensional Andromedans and fifth dimensional ETs that are fucking killing these dimensional beings.
So I've made videos on my channel, like going into strong depth about this, because basically what it comes down to is a label is a label is a label, and it does matter like what you're talking about. So, you know, it gets into semantics, you know, a lot. So it's like,
I don't want all
the new age puts labels on everything, calling it aliens, but it's really not. Like, if you really go into the ancient history, when you get into like anthroposophy and you dive deep into like the studies of, you know, deep like stuff, and everyone just calls it alien, but it's really not. Like, they call it alien so that we just trust it. But like anthroposophy and stuff like Rudolf Steiner's teachings, in my opinion, are very important. And that's like we've talked about Gigi Young a little bit earlier on the show, and that's where like I really love like her teachings that I got into. And you know, I've talked about that with Scott and Joe before, and it's like labeling, like I used to say it myself, like a label is a label is a label, but at the end of the day, it kind of does matter, because like these things are real. Like, and Andromedans and Pleiadians, they are real things, but they're not extraterrestrials. They're actually human beings from like past epochs of time that are just a little bit further along than we are. And when we call them aliens, like it just kind of like disconnects our association from them. Like, we are all connected. Like, we are their brother and sisters. And when we say we're aliens, like, it disconnects us. Like, we are them and they are us. Like, we're all human beings, and it's like different epochs of time. Like, so the aliens are actually like the reptilians and the gray aliens that have fell from Atlantis, that actually were the humans that chose to not be a part of us, and they got the injections, and they chose to be like the AI versions of us.
Right.
So all these things do exist, yes, but we're like, it's where the labels get like misconstrued. Like, I believe in Andromedan and Pleiadian and all that, but they're not extraterrestrials in a sense. It's like they're humans, they're angels in a way. They're just a little bit of like above us in a sense. Like they're you know how we all come in levels, and like they're beings that already came here and did what we're doing right now, if that makes sense. So instead of like saying they're aliens, it's like they're us from like future timelines almost, you know what I mean? So it's like we're saying the same things. Yeah, we're saying the same things, just in different words. That's all. Like, I believe in that. Like, I believe in all those wordings and all that stuff, but I just don't think that it's like alien, because alien to me is like a word that disconnects us from God. Like we're some science experiment in some lab, which I don't believe, you know? I do believe that we're like the Andromedans and the Pleiadians. I believe in all that, and the star season stuff. I believe that, but I believe that it's like human beings, you know, that are past us in a little bit, if that makes sense. Like, they're above us in a level. Like, It's not like some alien from a different race. Do you know what I'm saying?
like,
Like,
yeah,
we're
I mean,
the,
not saying
the
the same
audience
things. Yeah.
From
totally
another
connecting with what you're
dimension.
saying.
They're not
Yes,
human
yes.
beings. They're from another dimension, but they're not us from the future and not the past. They're different entities. Not everything's human. I'm sorry, I have to disagree with you, Marin. Okay?
Okay.
They're not us from the future. They're on I mean, you can believe what you want to believe. We're not going to always agree on everything, but I don't believe Andromedans are not human beings. If they're human beings, then why are they Andromedans and why are they us? That's like, they're two different things. They're not extraterrestrials. You're right. They're on different dimensions. Different planets are different dimensions. There are entities that are down below, but I don't believe that Andromedans or all these different species are humans from us from the future. No, I don't
No,
believe that. I
I
believe
think that
that
they're us in a different dimension. So we're essentially kind of saying the same thing, but not really.
no,
Well,
I
it's,
don't think
it's
we're
the
saying
idea
the
that
same thing
linear
at
time
all,
doesn't
but
exist.
we can
Yeah.
agree to disagree. But I don't think we're saying the same thing at all. But we don't have to agree on everything. That's why
Well,
everyone has different frames and everyone has different. We don't have to agree on everything.
totally. And I just want to say for the listeners, folks, we're 3 hours in. None of this is scripted. We're not paid for this. And we do what we can to bring you
Where's that
very
money?
intriguing.
Yeah, but I want to throw out the idea that, time isn't really linear. We just experience it
Mhm.
that way. That answers a lot of the questions you guys are debating. The idea that, I mean, literally the part of you that's here experiencing this is like 1% of you. There's so much
Mhm.
more of you to connect with. And when you start to have coherence with the rest of that, it oddly makes sense, because otherwise it absolutely won't. But
Yeah.
when it comes to Steiner, I love that you brought it up, because I
I love
just
him
did an
so much.
interview. Yeah, I just did an interview with a guy named Michael
From Costa Rica.
from Costa Rica, and
His wife, they were kind enough to, I got to play a gig there, and then he got to do a show out of the same.
well, it was a wonderful primer. He's so well versed in this stuff. You're a Gigi Young fan, probably also dark journalist. Those
Yeah.
are two of
Yeah.
my go-tos. I love them so much.
Yeah.
This was a primer into that. We're gonna do multiple shows on it, but it's essential learning. I mean, we've got people that don't know the difference between Satan and Lucifer. What does that even mean? So we did
Right.
what we're on, like, part 4 with Ethan Lucas about what that means and how to interpret the Bible, which is very accurate on these points. But then there's the whole Steiner side.
Yeah.
Very important to consider. So, yeah, I mean, if you're looking to round out your understanding of this stuff in a primer kind of way, I mean, you can go very deep. You can spend decades learning this.
Well,
But
that's like one of the main things I give gratitude towards Gigi Young is for, like, she really grounded me from the new age stuff that I was into. Like, I stumbled upon, like, I just remember one night I prayed so hard and I was like crying and I was like swimming in a sea of deception in the new age alien crap. I'm sorry, I'm going to say that, but I just, and then I stumbled upon Gigi Young, and she made so much, it was like a life raft in the sea of the new age. And I binged her stuff for like 7 months. And I was just like, oh my God, this is exactly what I like, her stuff. And she teaches Rudolf Steiner essentially, and like anthroposophy and the true, like, esoteric knowledge of spirituality that's been wiped from the new age community. And it was like God sent. Like, her information to me was God sent. And I know she has a lot of her own opinions about the political arena right now and all that stuff going on. But in that moment, I needed her information and I found it, and I'm so grateful for the stuff that she teaches. It's truly unbelievable, yeah. Because she's bringing Rudolf Steiner back, really.
Yeah.
I
The New
messaged
Age
you about
movement
that.
has fucked us. The New
Yeah.
Age movement has fucked us. They've skewed everything, and there's a lot of the New Age movement that is psyops. And I hate the term alien. There are no aliens. I think the alien is a big psyop. They shouldn't use the term alien because they're all different. No, because they're they're entities and they're just on different dimensions. So it's like the
Yeah.
whole term alien is kind of like I think it's cabal. Alien is cabal. The term
Mhm.
alien, I think.
Well, we're all pretty much alien when you get right down to it.
Right.
22 different genetic lines of aliens. You know, it's if you subscribe to such a thought, which I think there's a lot of, you know, substantiation for it, but yeah, people, if you understood how special and how magnificent you are as a human being, what that really means and what that means to all the other life forms out there that you're not even aware of, it's pretty magical. And welcome to the party. It's amazing.
Right. I think that angels are interdimensional beings. I think that I think a lot of people that considered angels were probably just interdimensional beings. Who
Yeah.
knows what angels were? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Exactly. Mhm.
No, this is exactly what I'm not talking about. That is such a not
This is
accurate
exactly what I'm not talking
version at all.
Wow.
No. Okay. So, God. So maybe there's. I'm
I
not
love
an
the
adherent
theory
to the
of
show.
Lucifer, Ahriman, and Satan, basically. I made a few videos on my channel about this, and it's basically like about that. Like, you know, there's three streams going through the planet, and we are all operating out of all of them. But
Right.
we're all operating out of one more than the other, but we still have all of them within us anyways.
But Satan's a term. It's not an individual. I mean, Lucifer incarnated in the 15th century in China.
Yeah.
Ahriman has not yet incarnated. I'm a little nervous about that, actually. But you know, these parables that we learn about that mimic our our physiology, our geography, our
Yeah.
agricultural cycles, our astrology. All of these things are echoed in all of these stories. The Bible is the best example of that. Please study it.
Yeah.
It's really worth
Mhm.
it. But understand what you're
Yep.
reading and try and get the most expanded version of it you can.
Yeah.
The thing is, you have to understand that just because something is a parable doesn't mean it didn't happen in a physical reality.
Right.
These things have manifested physically in our reality. They have had great influence, great weight in who we are, what we are, our history, our understanding of ourselves, which has been largely abbreviated, muted, by the powers that be, because everyone outside of our paradigm knows if the humans realize how powerful they are, we're all fucked because we're
Yeah. Which is
parasitically
why they
attached to them.
poison us from the time we are born to the time we are dead.
Right, because they're
24 hours a day.
parasitically attached to us. They need
Yeah.
us, and somehow in some vulnerable moment in our
Yeah.
exalted experience, we submitted to this slavery, and that's what's about to end.
Yep. Yep. And shows like this, like, like having like different opinions and stuff like that. Now it's good because we make each other grow and learn. We're not going to always agree on everything because the people in chat, like, oh my God, no. It's like we're allowed to debate. We're allowed to have different opinions. We're
Yeah.
allowed to think differently. We're not, if we don't have difference of opinions and we think differently, we become fucking sheeples and we
Oh,
become,
yeah.
right? So this is good. This is good.
100%.
Like healthy debate is good. And we're not going to
Yeah.
always agree and always think the same thing. How boring would the world be? That's how we got in this mess in the first place, right?
Yeah. Well, then we're just the same as the people that watch mainstream media.
That's
Well,
right.
aliens
right.
aliens versus demons is a semantic argument. You know, it doesn't
Yep.
negate the existence of either. It just argues over what we're going to call them. It's retarded.
Right. It's like
So,
evil. It's like good and evil. It's like there's good and evil in everything, right?
It just goes back to it again. A label is a label is a label. Yes, exactly.
It's a label. It's a
Although
label.
the word is significant, and we have to understand that. I mean,
Right.
largely,
The
you know,
label can be such a
spelling.
broad term. Yeah.
Yes, spelling. We speak things into reality.
Yeah.
The word, I mean, God created the word or the world with the word. I mean, it was spoken. We have to understand the power of that, and we have to really get disciplined about what we speak, which we do a terrible job of here on TruthStream. But you know,
What are you talking about? You do a great job.
well, I'm just saying, you know, I mean,
he's speaking for himself again.
no, I'm speaking to the fact that it really is. We need to be deliberate about our speech. It really is important. It really does work that way. We really do create the world around us. I know sometimes it doesn't feel that way because the collective part of that really interferes with the individual path that we're on, and we feel like victims often, I suppose, in that mashup because we haven't mastered it. We haven't figured it out, which really is inherent in all of us. We just have to kind of remember it because it's not about learning or passing the gauntlet or getting anyone's approval. It's just remembering what the fuck you are.
Right. Well, on this subject matter, when I brought up that video of David Martin talking about that we have 12 cranial nerves and 12 senses, if we knew that from a young age and it went back generations and our parents and grandparents and great grandparents were aware of it and could hand that down to us, we would never be in the situation that we are in, because then we'd be so much more aware of, you know, the atrocities in the world, the evil, all these things. And so as that comes back to us and we're finally educated, for many of us, or you know, however you'd want to say, like maybe we did know this at one point and then that gets buried. Anyway, my point is that once that comes back, yeah, I think we're going to absolutely obliterate AI. I mean, so I'm not even worried
use it
about
efficiently.
Yeah, or use it efficiently.
Yeah.
So, but I gotta say, guys, I have to get to the recording studio. I don't know if you want to continue this or you want to wrap it up after 3 hours.
I mean, we've gone on for a long time.
Yeah,
it's a good show.
Yeah, it might be time.
Final thoughts.
Marin, final thoughts, please, just for tonight, not for anything permanent. Please go ahead.
Wow, you put me on the spot there.
Well, Lady D might be taking a lady break. I'm not sure. I don't see her right now. I just do this.
You know, I just.
Well, we're entering a weekend that is
3 hours. It's crazy because I could talk to you guys for so long and it goes by so fast.
I know. I know, but we're coming up on a weekend that could change the world forever. I think the storm is definitely upon us.
My final thoughts, I guess, are always going to be just, you know, I'm always going to say, ground in nature, put your bare feet on earth. When times are overwhelming, go the fuck outside, touch grass. Like, I know that's like a insult that people say to people, like, oh, you need to touch grass, but it's honestly very true. Like, all of you need to touch grass. Everybody needs to go outside. Yep. So yeah, that those are my final words. Like, we all need to go outside because you know what? We are nature. We are nature. We need to go outside and recharge our batteries in nature. Sunshine heals everything. I don't care what anybody says, cancer, blah, 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 blah. No. Sunshine and putting your bare feet on earth heals all things. And that is what I want to say.
I love that. I love that. I agree wholeheartedly.
Get outside and touch grass, people.
Hey, Marin, are you coming to Costa Rica with us in January?
I didn't know you were going. I thought you were coming here in October.
Yeah, I know, but you're going to come with us to Costa Rica. It's the most magical place you've ever been.
I want to move there, so hopefully, yes.
Tell your boyfriend we're going.
I need to go get my teeth done there.
Yeah, I don't know about your cat. I don't know how that's going to work out, but we'll figure out the details. All right, Lady D.
Beautiful teeth. Well, you have beautiful
What?
teeth. You don't need your teeth done.
No, when I went vegan, I have all my teeth in the back broke and crumbled, and you can't see. But I need
Oh.
like $20,000 worth of dental work done, and I have
No, it's
mercury fillings from when I was young, and it's like half. So I got quoted in the States. It's $20,000 I need, and in Costa Rica, it's like $5,000. So
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I have
All right.
mercury fillings
I don't
too.
have 20 grand. Sorry, but yeah.
No. Lady D, final thoughts, please. And here's where to find this. First of all, that's Marin is primarily on Instagram. This is her, what, 5th account? And here is Lady D's website. Lady D, final words for the evening. Please go ahead.
I agree with what Marin said, and I will add that we have to start being our own guru. Okay, so many people were, and we all do this. We watch show after show after show after show, and it comes down that we need to be our own guru. We need to have our own discernment. All of us, if we want to ascend, we have to connect with our higher self. So we have to be willing to put down the phones, go out in nature, like Marin said, go out into sunlight, because not only does it heal you, but it connects you with spirit. Every time you go out to nature, you put your feet in the grass, or you put your feet in the sand, or you're in water. It connects you with nature. And we have all the answers that we need. We have all the answers within us. Part of this ascension is that there are personal ascensions before there are mass ascensions. So we have to connect with our higher selves. And when you connect with your higher self, you have all the answers. We're all psychic.
Yeah.
We all have spiritual, metaphysical abilities. So be your own guru. That's my advice.
Oh, I
final word.
love that.
Yes,
Very well
love it.
said.
Love it.
And if anyone does want to go to Costa Rica, we're putting a video together. I just want to show you. It's only because of people we've met through the show. Louis Herms introduced us to Carol Marie Friesen, who was our host at Heaven and Earth Sanctuary in Costa Rica. If you plug yourself into Carol and her sanctuary, it's like the main artery of one of the most beautiful places. We're going to give you a very quick tour of what her. It's already going. So do you want to say something in the middle of it? Go ahead.
Well, yeah, no, I was just gonna say, remember to, connect with nature. I mean, it's what the gals were saying. It's
Yeah.
just, it's so vital. It's so available right now. Remember what you are and who you are. It's the most vital part. We're at that point. Open yourself up to it. If you feel insane, it's for a good reason. You know, I mean, you're rolling into something that isn't congruent with the reality that you're used to. Roll with it, digest it, absorb it, become it, let it set you free. I mean, it's all happening right now. The solar weather right now is phenomenal. Like what we're seeing, unprecedented events, the Schumann resonance, so on and so forth. I just want to remind everybody, be open to that. Don't be freaked out by it. If you're feeling crazy, it might be because you're waking up. And that's
There
it.
you go.
Yeah, go ahead and roll
There
that.
you go. Well,
Yeah.
perfect. Well, so yeah, I just want to, so this is heavenandearthsanctuary.com. This is just to show you, this is because of we've done our show and we've met amazing people. Carol has just been amazing to us. And now I'm like, this morning I took, and I'll share one of her secrets. You take a quarter cup of flaxseed, 2 cups of water. Obviously you want it to be as clean or the best water you can find. You boil it for 5 minutes. You want to put it in the fridge. And then if you have like dandruff or cirrhosis or any of this stuff, this is such a cheap fix. Carol, thank you again. So, but this is what Carol has created. This is her amazing sanctuary, host a retreat. I mean, if you want to go to Costa Rica and you want a profound experience, we just want to share it because
Oh, the
Carol,
Lightworkers Institute.
yeah, it's been
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, I
We've-
mean, just absolutely life-changing
yes.
place.
I
So
would love to go there. I would love to go to Costa Rica. I've
You're
always
coming
wanted
in
to go.
January. You're coming
Okay,
with
I'm
us in
coming.
January.
I'm coming. I will be there.
Darren, also clear your schedule. Tell your boyfriend it's
Yeah.
happening.
It's been in my affirmation journal for a while now about getting my I need so much dental work done. It's insane how expensive. So
well,
yeah.
and Carol,
I'm wintering there. We'll exchange info. I mean, we'll get on the phone. We'll talk.
I have 13 mercury fillings and 2 root canals. So
well, and guess who
Oh,
knows lots
no.
of dentists? Okay, so if you want to go to
it's
if you want to go to Costa
$20,000 I
Rica,
need in the States. I need $20,000 in the States. So
yeah. So if you want to save 15 grand and go have an amazing experience, going here is like going to a hug. That is what Carol has done for anybody, and we will promote her. And I mean, she's amazing, and her work and her beautiful space.
But
She's incredible. So.
Marin, that river will speak to you. It's this place is such a vortex. It's unreal.
I know. I want to move there. I know.
Well,
I
I mean, Costa
I
Rica is a
believe-
big place. This place is a
I would
vortex.
move there in a
where-
heartbeat.
I'm telling you, we're gonna go. We'll see you in January. Anyone else that wants to join
Yes,
us, we're
Devil
putting together a
Oregon.
retreat. So
And
Oh
and
my
Scott's
God.
gonna
Mouthful
handle
of
it. So
mercury,
we
yeah,
people.
we can handle
Scott
we can handle about 15 people, 16, something like
around
that.
there.
So
Yeah, I'm taking care of the Ireland retreat. That's
Yeah.
been enough work. So we got to
Yeah,
split it
yeah.
up.
All right.
yeah.
Okay, but the thing is, I want to go to Ireland. I want to go to Costa Rica. So this RV, this money thing better happen because we need
Yeah.
to afford all this.
Damn
I know,
right.
It's
Jeez.
happening. It's happening. Just
All right,
relax.
before we go, can I just get your
Where's our
takey?
money?
The monetary system. That's where. Where's our fucking money? I mean, okay, let's go. All right. Okay, before we go, let's just make this thing. I have to say, with
Okay.
all this, all the billions of dollars, where's our fucking money? I mean, seriously, are we going to get some money? Are we going to get $5,000? Do you think the money system? Because
Hey,
I've been
can-
getting in all my readings, it's going to
Can we
crash.
do a
it's gonna
fucking
crash,
reading
it's gonna
on the
crash.
money? Where's the money?
She's got the cards in her hand. Let's
Let's do a reading.
Every time
let's
I
figure
read,
this out.
Come on.
every time I read, it says it's going to happen, and then it never friggin' happens. So where's our fucking money?
That's a thick deck you're working with there. Holy shit. What
And
is
he
that?
did say deck.
Yes, I did.
That's why I had
Very
to check
good.
out. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah,
FEMA fucked me. FEMA has still been fucking me. So no, I can't pay attention because I will freak the fuck out.
right. It's right. It's like, where's our money? You show us. I'm not saying I don't love that we found out about USAID, but you showed us billions of dollars. And even under
Totally.
brain dead Biden, they gave us $500 or $600 stimulus checks. Come on, let's do it. Let's change this money. This is all monopoly money. Just think of how much better we would be if we didn't have to worry about paying bills, right? We would awaken, we would ascend really fast if we didn't have to worry about monopoly money. So that's just we need the down of the cabal money system. It needs to go.
All right, so read those cards, girl. Let's
Can we
see
do a
what,
reading?
let's see
Should
where
we do
we're
a
at.
reading? Let's do
All
a
right,
reading.
Let's
By
do it.
gosh, by golly, let's do it.
All right,
You know,
here we go. It's gonna
a lot of people could fucking wake up faster if they didn't have to worry about going to their fucking dead end job and making money.
Exactly, Marion. I concur. Here we go. Pray God, in the name of Yeshua, what's going to happen with our money system? Is there going to be an ending of the cabal system? Is there going to be an RV or QFS very soon? Anything and everything that will bring us clarity and understanding. What say you, Holy God, in Yeshua? Like every psychic in creation is saying the same thing that I have, that it should have happened already. I don't know what the holdup is, so let's see.
And here's Tammy C's comment. Fuck yeah. Thank you, Tammy C.
Exactly. Okay. So it's every reading I get, it's coming. Here we go. It's coming. The 10 of Cups. That means That means money. This is family legacy. This is not just money, just a little bit of pocket money. This is having enough money for family legacy. The Queen of Pentacles, she has right there. There's her. She's got the coin in her hand. Okay. The Six of Swords means rite of passage. It means going out from the dark to the light. In other words, being poor and being part of the slave, being part of the 9 to 5 bullshit system out into the light. So this is a rite of passage. So we're getting there. This is out of the tempest, out of the dark times into the light. 9 of Cups, wish come true. This is our dream, wish come true. Yes, it's coming. And the Hierophant is a spiritual awakening. So it's coming. It's coming. I always get a reading. It's coming. It's coming. But when?
I mean,
there, I get the dream come true. So I
we're
will tell you.
creating it. We're creating it.
Yes,
We just need to fucking level up.
that's right.
Get in the vibe of that.
Right. So the spiritual awakening is tied in. So
Exactly my point. Humanity is in very infantile stages of spiritual development, though. So that's where I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a minute. It's gonna be a minute.
We're gonna have a whole lot of money, and we're not gonna know what the fuck to do with it because we're gonna be.
And you know what? I don't think that the alliance knows that, because they're not gonna give a bunch of money to a bunch of people that are gonna spend it on fucking porn and stupid shit. So it's not gonna come anytime soon. Because I'm sorry, but the majority of society is in that mindset. We are not the minority. We are not the majority. We are not. I'm sorry. We are not the majority. We are the minority still.
Yeah.
Not everybody is.
People are waking up, but we are the minority when it comes to deeper thinking. And I'm not saying some egoic thing like we're above everybody else. No, I'm not saying that. But we are in the minority when it comes to, if they handed everybody $1 million, most of society would blow it on some fucking bullshit.
That's right. And all these people that say, oh, we're going to get $10 million on account, wake the fuck up. That's not going to happen, just because that's exactly what Marin said. Because some people are dumber than a bag of sticks and they would be broke. Look at everyone. There's a show that called The Lottery Ruined My Life, because most people can't handle large sums of money. So if it does happen, that we're going to get little bursts of money. We're not going to be rich overnight, because just like Marin said, the average person would spend it on porn, would spend it on bullshit, and they would be starving the next day. So people need to get like this whole fantasy that we're going to be rich overnight. We're going to get millions of dollars in our bank account. It's not going to happen. There is a financial system. There is a QFS. It is going to happen. But as Marin and the boys said, it's very tied to our spirituality and disclosure. Spirituality, the money. It's all going to happen all at once. But when we have brain dead sheeples walking around, that's the problem. There's the problem.
Yeah. Fair enough. I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. Our friend Lisa sent this to us. This is trumpcard.gov. Enter your information in below to be notified. $5 million. First name, last name if you're a individual or a business time. Which region you're in. I don't know. For myself, family, spouse, your email. I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
It's a .gov website, so I wouldn't be so.
You know what I don't like about all of these things? I get the automatic text messages from Trump that are actually from Trump. Like the 0022 whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about? Those text messages that you get that are like donate. And they're sending me this shit while I'm going through the fucking hurricane and I lost everything and FEMA ain't paying me anything and I'm going through all this shit. And Trump has the audacity to send me these messages that are like, donate to me. And I don't understand that. Like,
I agree.
That's bullshit. And I'm a fucking Trumper, and I defend him all day long, every day. But why the fuck is Trump asking me for money when I just lost everything and FEMA still hasn't paid me? And Trump still asks us for money. Trump is a fucking billionaire. And I understand Trump doesn't take money and he doesn't take a presidential paycheck. But one thing I will never understand is why, what is he asking money for? Why is he always asking for money on these fucking weird text messages?
Well, I
Right.
mean, it's
What
it's
is that
energy,
about?
It's intention. I don't know. I feel the same way. I mean,
Yeah,
I
that-
dismiss those emails all the time. Like I've got money to spend on political contributions. I mean, yeah,
Like,
maybe
I could
one day.
defend Trump all day until it comes to that. I'm like, why are you asking everybody in the world that has no fucking money for money?
exactly.
Like, I get
Man,
17 text messages a
watching
day
movie.
while I'm
We're
halfway
watching a
underwater
movie.
for fucking donations while I'm underwater. What the fuck are you talking about? You know what I
I
mean?
know.
We're
Yeah.
watching a
Only fucking
movie.
think twice.
We are watching a movie.
People are.
Just saying.
I agree. I don't know if that's really Trump, but what is the large screen behind you? What is going on with?
This is my TV. I think
Holy shnikes!
I
All
had
right,
a
ladies. Well, let people
I
know.
had a
where they can-
meditation thing on, but it turned off, I guess. I don't know
I
what's
thought we
going on.
did Final thoughts like an hour ago.
No,
Right, we're gonna let them end the show.
Where can people find you, Lady D? Let's wrap this up.
All right. Well, you
I
can
could go
find
to
me
a
on my
comment.
YouTube channel, which I changed it. It's Oracle of Delphi because I rebranded because I found out this is another show. I'm one of my past lives. I was one of the Oracles of Delphi. That's why I have the psychic gift, and my name is Delphine. So I rebranded my channel. So you can find me at Oracle of Delphi on YouTube. And I'm still known as Lady D. You can call me Lady D, and that's where you find me. You can find me. My website is Soul Therapy with Lady D. If you want to email me, soultherapywithlady@gmail.com.
Perfect. And Marin, I'm going to put up your Instagram anywhere, anywhere else people can find you.
Instagram and YouTube. That's about it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
There you
good
go.
luck finding her. But if you
I know,
do,
instead of
what
that, hey, I've
what
been
a
doing
treasure.
it 5 times off of Instagram. Follow me anyway. My phone is literally about to die right
you're
now.
in the
actually.
you're in the show notes. You know, so anyone that wants to reach out, there it is. We love you, Marin. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so
you.
much for having me. I need to have you guys on my show if you would
Well,
be willing.
of course.
Anytime.
We would be
anytime.
absolute assholes if we said no.
And Lady D, I'm actually gonna call you tomorrow. So
Perfect.
Okay, you can
Yeah.
call me.
Yes.
Okay,
We all
yeah, I'll
come
call
on
you.
my show. I love all of you. You're like
call me.
my sisters and brothers from another mister.
Yes. Definitely call me. I'd love to. I love you guys. I love you
No,
guys. I
for
love
sure.
being on with you. Yes, you have my. Joe has my number. Call me.
I will. I will.
Oh, you go, girl.
All right.
All right, we're gonna play just a video from our sponsor. Sometimes we wait till the very end so people can enjoy the entire show, because we all know sometimes you don't want to have a fucking video get in the way of your show. But Sirona is what has kept Scott and I actually going
No, and
And-
it really is a
and glo-
life-changing fucking supplement.
and
I mean,
glowing.
I'm telling you, everyone's like, you look 10 years younger. It's like, yeah, Sirona.
And this is
Hello.
why.
This is why.
I will never settle for ordinary supplements or skincare ever again after discovering Sirona. Let me tell you why. Sirona's revolutionary nano-sized products are designed to simplify your health and skincare routine, where less is more. Imagine the power of nano-glutathione and nano-CBD, as well as stem cells and other nanonutrients in every drop. Take Elixir for a daily boost of vitality, detox, and immunity. Or Panacea, which is perfect for improving cognitive and gut health. And don't forget our Skin Mist and Skin Plus Menet Mask, our skincare duo that leaves your skin shockingly youthful. But why nano-sized? Because smaller particles mean superior absorption and faster results. More bang for your buck and better health for you. But wait, there's more. Serona's affiliate program offers generous payouts and overrides. That means you can earn substantial income just by sharing what you love. Join a community of wellness enthusiasts who are not only transforming their health, but also building thriving businesses that can be passed on generationally. With our 30-day guarantee, it's a risk-free way to start your journey to better health and wealth. So why wait? Dive into Serona's next-level wellness solutions today. Visit the link below to get started. Serona, unlock your full potential. Remember, with Serona, you're not just investing in your health, you're investing in your legacy. Here's to living your best life.